Hi, Bessie. I'm really sorry I missed your call. I was at my new part-time job. Did you want something?
Your new part-time job? Since when? I haven't heard anything about you working.
Yeah, I started working from mornings until about this time during the week.
Why? I'm surprised. This is all very sudden. Is this a roundabout way of trying to say my son's salary is too low?
Huh? No, not at all.
Then why in God's name have you started working part-time?
Because the world's an unstable place these days and you never know what curveball life's gonna throw at you next. Kevin and I decided together it'd be best for me to work part-time so we can finally start saving properly. We were living from paycheck to paycheck before. Hannah's getting big now and her food bill's growing in proportion.
Getting big? Oh, give me a break. She's 10 years old.
She'll be 11 soon, though. Besides, I can easily make it home after work before she gets off school, so it's not like it has any effect on her. Plus, now we can afford to treat her to nice things more often.
School this, treats that. Oh, you think you're so clever, don't you? You've got an answer for everything. You've always had a knack for answering me back.
Sorry, I really wasn't trying to answer you back. I just want you to understand that me working isn't a bad thing.
Didn't I tell you before? Hannah's a very clever little girl, which means you need to be there to support her as much as possible. She needs more attention than most children.
Right, you did.
You can't seriously claim you're keeping on top of the housework and looking after Hannah properly while going out to work 5 days a week. She has her entrance exams for that special school for gifted children coming up soon, you know. Do you really think this is the time to be playing Little Miss Independent in an office somewhere? You should be at home with your family.
We don't know whether she's actually taking the exams yet. She's been taking private tutoring in the evenings, but she hasn't decided whether she's going to be taking the exams. Of course, we'd love it if she got into a school for gifted kids, but at the same time, it would be a lot of pressure.
No wonder she doesn't know if she wants to take the exams if this is how you talk about them. She has no hope of passing with this lukewarm, half-assed attitude. You call this parenting? It's a dog-eat-dog world, Maria. All the other kids are working their damn butts off to ace these exams. Do you really think Hannah has the time to be dilly-dallying and navel-gazing? It's a mother's job to motivate their child.
Kevin and I are putting what Hannah wants first.
Listen, young lady, and listen good. My Kevin studied his ass off in high school to get into Peepston University, one of the most prestigious colleges in America. Do you think he'd be working at a major global company now if not for my forceful encouragement? Need I remind you that the only reason you're able to live a life of such luxury and comfort is because my Kevin pushed himself and endured a lot of difficult times? I don't need to be told how the world works by some wet-behind-the-ears gold digger with no education who married my son by sheer fluke. I hope you don't intend to raise Hannah to be like you, thinking she can live independently without relying on a man. My granddaughter will not be going down the same path as you.
Please stop talking to me like that.
The only reason I'm being a little forceful with regards to matters in the home, dear, is because you're clearly only good for being a housewife. If you were capable of making more than my son, then I might make an exception. But your educational history and general attitude make it plain as day you'd never have what it takes to succeed in the business world. You've got some nerve working a part-time job as a high school dropout. You're just using this as a tool to get out of doing the housework and looking after Hannah, aren't you?
I'm really not.
You tell me, Maria, stay-at-home housewife or part-time housewife? Which one do you think has more time to devote to the home?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that a stay-at-home housewife would spend more time at home.
Point proven! So you are just doing this to avoid the housework. Oh my God, wait a minute. You couldn't be... Could you? Is this all part of some scheme to find a new man?
Huh? What?
You hear about it all the time, cheating housewives. I'd never do that. Oh, would you look at that? Why so defensive, dear? I was obviously just kidding.
I'd prefer if you didn't say stuff like that, even as a joke.
Enough of this nonsense. The bottom line is that you're clearly not intelligent enough to be trusted to make your own life decisions, so you will do as I say. Thankfully, Hannah takes after her father and not you, but please, stop standing in the way of her chances of success with your unparalleled selfishness. Don't worry, dear, I know you'd struggle on your own, so I'm going to help you manage all aspects of your life. You name it, whatever it is, I'll be here with advice to put you on the right track. Cooking, exercising, gardening. Obviously, study would be wasted on someone with a brain as tiny as yours, so we'll skip that one.
I'm not going to respond to your blatant insults because I know it wouldn't lead anywhere positive. But I want you to know that Hannah's happiness and success are my #1 priorities in life. I chose my new job very carefully, and my boss was kind enough to make some compromises so me working wouldn't have a knock-on effect on things at home, so please, you don't need to worry about anything.
That's nice, dear. Unfortunately, I don't trust you enough to take your word on that. I thought maybe you'd start growing on me one day when we met for the first time 10 years ago, but if anything, I dislike you even more now. It still makes me uncomfortable to think of you as my son's wife. I've never thought of you as family, not even for a second. Maria, are you there? What's all this I'm hearing about Hannah spraining her finger?
Yes, it's true, but you don't have to worry. It's not serious and it won't have any impact on her day-to-day life.
Can she still grip a pen? It was one of the fingers on her right hand, wasn't it?
She has it taped now, so it might be a little difficult for her to hold a pen right now.
What? How the heck is she supposed to study if she can't even hold a pen? You're not fit to be a mother. I've got half a mind to report you to Child Protective Services. It's terrifying how relaxed you seem to be about all this. What is wrong with you?
That's not true at all. Believe me, I wish this never happened.
It's your fault that poor girl sprained her finger, Maria.
Huh? How?
I know you made her take ballet lessons. Why in the devil's name would you make her do anything not related to study? I heard she hurt herself dancing in a ballet class that had absolutely nothing to do with her studies or exams. This is what happens when you make moronic decisions without consulting me first.
I didn't make her do anything, Bessie. She told me she wanted to sign up for ballet class, so I let her.
Why would she be interested in ballet? I can't think of a more mind-numbingly boring activity than watching a bunch of kids prance around like fairies. That time could be better spent studying.
I don't think it's boring. Apparently she wanted to give it a try after one of her favorite comic books did a ballet-themed story. She said she wanted to go to the sports hall to find out what it was really like.
Comic books? You're letting her read comic books now?
Yes, she really loves them. She said coming home from school and reading her comic books is her favorite part of the day.
If she has time to be reading such drivel, then you should be making her study more. Goodness gracious me. Comic books, I mean, really. No wonder the world's going to the dogs if this is how kids are spending their time these days. Stop encouraging her to be interested in useless things.
I don't think they're useless, actually. They make Hannah happy, and when she's happy, she feels more motivated to do the other, less fun things in her life. Not only that, but through comic books, she learns all about people's feelings and life experiences. When you think about it, comic books really aren't so different to novels. They provide rich emotional experiences brimming with poetic sentiments, epic portrayals of scenarios, deftly concocting unique elements to construct unique worlds that stimulate the imagination in ways that few other mediums can.
Make her read novels instead, then. Anyway, do you seriously think there's any point in having her do sports after all this time? She'll never become a first-rate athlete now. She's past her prime. Olympians are scouted at 3 years old these days. Why set her up for failure? Tell her to give up and get back to her studies right now.
Jesus, Bessie, since when are we discussing her becoming an Olympic athlete? I don't think she's that interested. She just wanted to try it out. Jeez.
All the more reason to make her quit before she wastes any more time. Oh, and that reminds me. I asked her what she wants for her birthday this year. Do you know what she said? One thing's for sure, I knew the moment she told me how horrendous your parenting skills are.
What did she say she wants?
A skateboard. What normal elementary school girl wants a skateboard? I can admit, for the sake of argument, it might not be that weird if she was a boy, but a girl on a skateboard? I almost fainted when she told me. Wait a second. You're not letting her hang out with the wrong crowds, are you? There better not be poor children in her friend group.
Is it really that strange that she wants a skateboard? It seems pretty normal to me.
You have got to be joking me. Go on. This is some kind of wind-up trick, isn't it? No one in their right mind could say that with a straight face. Oh, that reminds me. Your neighborhood's full of low-income families and criminals, isn't it? I can't believe my poor granddaughter's growing up in a slum packed with drifters, hobos, and high school dropouts. You seem to be forgetting that your normal and my normal are completely different things.
Would you please stop this? I'd really appreciate if you didn't insult my hometown.
All I'm doing is telling the truth, dear. What, am I supposed to pretend it's full of decent, respectable folk to protect your precious feelings? If Hannah goes off the rails, it's all going to be your fault. I hope you know that. You know, it's bad enough that she has your blood flowing through her veins. It's a miracle she didn't come out retarded. The last thing we need is you corrupting her with your 20 IQ parenting techniques. Oh, and that reminds me, don't bother coming to the wedding. You'll only embarrass us.
What? Do you mean Amy's wedding? Kevin's cousin?
Yes, of course I do. No one else we know is getting married soon, are they, moron? We'll be taking group pictures as a family, which means things will be tremendously awkward if you're there. You know how the saying goes, right? It only takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch. Stay at home where your revolting poor person aura can't ruin anyone's day. Don't worry about what people might say. I've already started spreading the word that you won't be attending. I told Hannah yesterday, so she won't be surprised when you're not there.
Right, I see.
Next time, don't bother stressing me out by forcing me to go out of my way to cancel you. Here, let me make it simple. Never show your face at any family events ever again, you pathetic disgrace of a woman. If you do anything else to Hannah from here on out, I'll be taking custody of her and bringing her up myself. Do I make myself clear? Kevin might try and stop me, but I won't have it. This is my granddaughter's future we're talking about, and I will not risk her becoming a failure like you. I suggest you turn that peanut in between your ears up to full capacity and start thinking about how you're going to properly educate her. Maria, I heard about Hannah. That's my girl, isn't she just amazing? I heard she bagged herself first prize at the county literature contest.
Yep, she sure did. They're even holding an awards ceremony next week.
Woohoo! Hallelujah! Praise the Lord! I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I always knew Hannah had literary talent. I noticed that whenever we speak over Peep's Messenger, her messages are always so simple and easy to read.
They sure are.
You know, it's funny, I always said she was like her dad. But the older she gets, the more I realize she's actually like I was in my younger days. Back when I was kicking ass and taking names in male-dominated workspaces. Clever and quick-thinking, determined and perspicacious, ruthless and tenacious, diligent, humble. Ah, you know, remembering the good old days like this almost brings a tear to my eye. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, Hannah, right. I just know it. One day she's going to be a star with her name in shining lights.
All that matters to me is that she grows up healthy and happy.
There you go, talking utter crap again. I do wish you'd stop this, dear. You wouldn't happen to be a toxic parent, would you, Maria? You do know what one of those is, don't you?
Excuse me?
Go on, admit it. I know the thought of your daughter being more accomplished than you at the age of 8 fills you with overwhelming feelings of terror and insecurity. That's why you're trying to drag her down. Crabs in a bucket isn't supposed to apply to your own daughter, you petty-minded saboteur. Am I wrong? Something tells me I'm not.
Yes, you're wrong. Of course you are. Hannah winning the county literature prize makes me more happy than I can put into words. I couldn't be more proud of how diligently she studies and how hard she works. But more than study or winning prizes, I want to let her focus on what makes her happy. I'll accept her whether she wins or loses.
You'll accept her if she loses? Good grief. I feel more disgusted with you every time you speak. Are you done droning on yet? Thank you for making it clear what a supreme, irredeemable moron you really are. The more you talk, the more you strengthen my conviction that you're not a good fit for this family.
Sorry, but to a mother, a child's happiness is the #1 priority.
And you think I don't care if she's happy? It's precisely because I want her to be happy that I'm trying to encourage her to study. But unlike you, I want her to learn the skills that will make her happy for life. She should be at least focused on her studies until she's an adult. She can start having fun once she enters the grown-up world.
Really? I could have sworn it was meant to be the other way around.
Yes, really. However, there are exceptions in cases where a child achieves something truly magnificent. Then you should treat them to the most astounding first-class luxury to show them what's possible if they work hard. I think we should take her on a family vacation to reward her for winning first prize.
A family vacation? I guess it's been a long time since we all went somewhere as a family. The pandemic restrictions really made it hard to leave the house, let alone go on vacation.
Right, but things are finally easing up on that front, and with that and Hannah winning her prize, I can't think of better timing. I want to take her to my favorite holiday resort. It's more luxurious than you could imagine, and I mean that literally in your case. A high school dropout like yourself wouldn't be able to imagine how lavish this place is.
You're right, I probably wouldn't. I never got to go on vacation much growing up. But thanks, Bessie. Hannah's gonna be over the moon when she finds out.
Don't get the wrong idea, though. You are not coming with us on this vacation. My son and granddaughter are my only family. And this is a family vacation.
Fine, I get it.
Oh, you do? Fantastic. Maybe you do have a brain cell in there after all. You'd stick out like a sore thumb in this resort anyway. Decent, respectable folk of the kind who stay there can sniff out high school dropouts like you in seconds.
What's going on? Why won't you let Mom come on vacation with us? Why are you being so mean to her, Grandma?
Huh? What are you talking about, Maria? What has gotten into you all of a sudden?
It's Hannah.
Hannah? No way. Oh my God, is that really Hannah?
Yes. We can do a video call if you don't believe me.
It's fine, darling, I believe you. I know it might have looked like I was being mean to your mom, but I want you to know that I wasn't. It's just that your mom isn't related to me or your dad by blood, you see, sweetie. That's why she can't come on vacation with us.
But I'm related to her.
Maybe so, but do you understand that me and her are strangers? That means she's not family.
Oh yeah? Then how do you explain my friend Jessica? She's not even related by blood to her dad, but they're still family. Even Mr. Fisher, my science teacher, said so. That you don't have to be related by blood to be family.
Yes, but he didn't mean real family. If he did, he was probably just trying to look cool in front of everyone. Honestly, sweetie, I think it's time you stopped being friends with Jessica. Having people like that in your life never ends well.
Why should I stop hanging out with her? She's my friend.
Well, you see, Hannah, it sounds like you and her aren't a very good match.
Yes, we are. She's my best friend. Okay, here's a question for you. Are you and my grandpa who died family?
Well, yes, of course we are. It's precisely because we're family that your father was born.
But you and him weren't related by blood. that means he's not your family.
That's not quite how it works, sweetie. Things are different when you get married.
Nothing you're saying is making any sense. To me, it just looks like you're being mean to Mom for no reason. There's a word for what you're doing. Bullying.
Bullying? No, I'm not bullying anyone. Listen, darling, your mother said she didn't want to come with us on vacation. That's the real reason she won't be joining us.
I can read, you know. I saw all the things you said to her. Stop treating me like an idiot.
I'm not treating you like an idiot at all. I think you're a genius, Hannah. Kids as smart as you are few and far between, but sometimes you just have to accept that your grandmother knows best.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm not, am I? Go on, say it. That's not all. I know all the other stuff you've been doing to Mom. Like how you make her eat cold leftovers while everyone else eats freshly cooked food when we go over to your house. Dad didn't notice, but I did. I always wondered why you were doing it. You make her eat dried up food to make her feel bad, don't you? Admit it.
No, dear. It's not like that at all. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I probably just made a mistake. Of course I want your mom to eat my delicious home-cooked meals.
Liar. I do lunch duty at school, so I know. I know that if you were feeding everyone from the same pot, there's no way it'd go all dried up and crusty like that.
Listen, Hannah, if it ever seemed like I was being mean to your mom, it was only because I wanted her to be a better mother to you. I was never trying to be mean or bully her.
She already is a good mom, the best mom in the world. I would never have won that prize for the literature contest at school if not for her.
Your mom helped you win that? How? Surely that was because of your own hard work.
Mom's been reading books every day since she was a little girl. She reads regular books, novels, manga, anything you can think of. She knows so much stuff and she always teaches me interesting things. I would have never been able to write my story if not for her helping me.
Wow, really? I had no idea.
That's why I got into reading books and started writing myself. My mom's amazing. She can do anything. She's the smartest person I know. So you better stop being mean to her.
Okay, Hannah, I'll stop, I promise. I'm really sorry I was mean to your mom. I swear I'll never do anything like that again.
I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. Mom is. But you know what? I never want to see you again. You're a big mean bully and I hate you. Bye.
Hannah, no! Wait, please! I'll say sorry to your mom. Please, just give me one more chance. I'm begging you.
Hannah's not reading your messages anymore.
Maria?
Yes, Maria.
You have to set Hannah straight. Tell her the truth. Explain to her that I wasn't bullying you.
Why would I do that? Are you telling me to lie to my own daughter? Anyway, she already knows the truth.
Lie? No, it's not like that. Is there really any need to drag an 8-year-old child into our business?
You're right, there isn't. I couldn't agree more. I don't see any need to go out of my way to explain this ridiculous situation to her either. Which is why I made a point of never saying anything bad about you in front of her. Even still, she knows. Children aren't stupid, and especially not Hannah. It doesn't take a genius to realize how differently you were treating me to her dad.
Liar! You say you've made a point of never bad-mouthing me in front of her, but you showed her our goddamn chat logs.
Nope, she stumbled on those by accident. But my mind is made up and my will is firm. I worked so hard to try and win your approval and have you accept me as a member of this family, but I'm done. I am so done. I don't want anything to do with you from now on. I'm terminating our relationship. Forever.
Don't say things like that. All I did was give advice. Everything I said with yours and Hannah's best interests at heart, I swear. Perhaps sometimes my words seemed a little cold, but you know what they say. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind.
I see. So insulting me for being a dumb high school dropout and banning me from all family events counts as advice now, does it? It's actually really impressive, Bessie. You know all these definitions for words that I never knew existed. You're a genius. I see. Fine. I'll apologize. I'm sorry, okay? I promise I'll never be mean to you again. Can we all be friends again and put this silly drama behind us now? Go on. Go and set Hannah straight. I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense about never seeing her again. You really are something special, huh? Even while apologizing, you can't resist barking orders at me, can you? Kevin's with us on this one, by the way. He says having you in our lives is too stressful and he can't take it anymore. It's not just me and Hannah who never want to see you again. None of us do. What? No! No! I didn't feel like causing a big drama when I was the only one being affected by your toxic behavior, but Hannah knows now, which obviously means she told her dad, too. There's no reason for me to carry on putting up with you anymore now that the cat's out of the bag. No, wait. Hold on for 1 second, young lady. I just apologized, and this is how you act? Hannah is my only granddaughter. You can't do this. You can't kick me out of my own family. You can't. You can't. How am I supposed to live on my own? Not my problem. How about looking in the mirror and asking yourself how you're so rotten to the core that you were able to continue bullying me for 10 whole years? You had endless chances to make this right. Maria, please, I'm so sorry. I mean it, I've never been this sorry about anything in my life. Listen, Maria, if you want to know the truth, it's not that I don't think of you as a member of this family, because I did the whole time. It's just that I was too stubborn and prideful to admit it to myself. But this has been the wake-up call I sorely needed. I can see it now, how horrible I've been, how much unnecessary pain and torment I've put you through. I'm ready. I'm finally ready to change my ways. It's time to turn a new leaf. Get ready to see the new Bessie. I'm fine, thanks. I'd rather not meet her. You know, it's funny. I think a part of me tolerated it because I had this impression that, oh, it's fine, that's just how people are when they get old. But I realize now that that was just a baseless rationalization I came up with to avoid conflict. In that sense, I wasn't being honest with myself either. But I can see things clearly now. Anyway, I'm done speaking to you. I hope you spend the rest of your retirement in soul-crushing loneliness and isolation. Maria, please forgive me. I'll stop bullying you, I promise. That means forever. I'll treat you like royalty from now on. If I ever do anything to annoy or upset you, or if I behave inappropriately in any way, I want you to tell me straight away. And I'll do everything in my power to improve. I'll treat you like my very own daughter. It's cool. I'm good, thanks. Hannah already called you out on your inappropriate behavior, so there's nothing left for me to say. Feel free to carry on being your old rotten self. Treat me like your own daughter? Yuck. I'd have to be insane to want a mom like you. With that, all relations with the mother-in-law from hell were terminated. When I reflect on her 10-year-long campaign of abuse, I realize that I should have gotten rid of her a long time ago. But when I was younger, a big part of me wanted to win her approval. And I thought that if I could just show her how hard I was willing to work to do that, she'd accept me one day. I also found it difficult to find the resolve to break ties because of what a good grandma she was to Hannah. Which meant for a long time the don't rock the boat side of me won out. Ultimately, it wasn't me who changed things, but my amazing, brave, clever daughter, Hannah. I would never have imagined in a million years that she'd give her grandma what for like that. And my jaw almost hit the floor when I read her messages. But I'm grateful and proud in equal measure for her giving me the opportunity I'd been waiting for. Not long after I said my goodbyes, Kevin got a bunch of messages from his mom desperately pleading for forgiveness and apologizing profusely. Why did she do it through Kevin, you ask? Because me and Hannah blocked her immediately. Unfortunately for Bessie, Kevin was sick and tired of her, and he vented his disgust to her in a very spicy, expletive-laden message. He's been ignoring her ever since. It turns out she wasn't only horrible to me directly. She'd been going around spreading vicious lies and bad-mouthing me behind my back, too. Eventually, none of her friends or relatives wanted anything to do with her either. She's totally alone in the world now. What can I say? What goes around comes around. It must have all come as quite a shock to her because I heard from one of her neighbors, who also happens to be my friend, that every time he walks past her house, he sees her crying hysterically, alone in her armchair. Do I feel sympathy? Not an ounce. She brought this on herself. I never want to see her again for as long as I live, but if Hannah ever changes her mind and wants to meet her grandma again, I won't try and stop her. I have no idea how long she'll be angry with Bessie or whether she'll ever decide to forgive her at all, but in any case, I hope she continues wallowing in the pain of regret over how she treated me. Who knows? Maybe this could be an opportunity for her to reflect on her behavior and become a better person. Life without the stress of being bullied by my mother-in-law is great, and me, Kevin, and Hannah are having a blast. I feel blessed to have such an amazing family, and I count my lucky stars every day. They're my number one priority now, and I'm determined to work as hard as I can to make them happy and give them both the lives they deserve.
Hey, Randy. Sorry didn't notice your messages. So you have a favor to ask me? What is it?
Sorry to have to ask you this, sweet cheeks, but I really need some money.
What? Again? What is it this time? I'm not getting you another new phone, if it's that again. I just got you a new one last year. You can get at least another 2 years out of that one.
It's not my phone.
What is it then? A game? I just got you a new game for your birthday. I'm not getting you any more games, Randy.
Not for a game.
What do you want it for then? I'm sorry, but we're not in any position to be buying luxuries. We need to tighten our belts a little.
The favor isn't for me, it's for my mom.
Your mom needs money? Why? What happened?
It's the house. It's approaching its best before date, if you catch my drift. She won't be able to carry on living there much longer at this rate. It's been falling to bits for a while now. One day it'll be a door coming off its hinges, the next the hot water will just stop working for no reason. What's more, the roof's been leaking like crazy ever since the typhoon a few months back.
Really? I had no idea. That typhoon was nuts. They said the wind speeds were once in a century on the news. I honestly thought our windows were going to be put out. I'm not surprised it did lasting damage to your mom's place.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, she's been asking me to help since a few years back now. It's not like I'm good at DIY, and I didn't really see exactly what I could do for her, so I always said no. But this time that place is really a disaster waiting to happen. I'd feel awful if I didn't help her fix it up and she had an accident. House is a death trap.
So you mean she needs some money to fix the leaky roof?
This is the thing. Fixing the roof would only be the beginning. There's just so much wrong with the place, I think we need to take some more drastic measures. Honestly, I think it's time for a renovation. The problem is, me and my mom don't have any money. I hate to ask you this, but would you mind giving us a little something out of your savings? You saved a lot back when you were single, right?
Me?
Well, please, Jessica, you're the only one we can count on. It's not just the leaks themselves either. Mom says the roof's full of mold because of all the water, and you know how dangerous it can be to breathe that stuff in. I'm seriously worried about it. We have to do something about that house.
A renovation, huh? A house that old is gonna need a lot of work doing on it. Renovations that big don't come cheap.
You're not wrong. It's almost 80 years old now. It's a miracle it made it this long without having any major work done. Nothing lasts forever, though. I think all the plumbing's probably gonna have to be replaced, too.
Probably. I wonder if my savings will even cover it?
Come on, babe. I bet you'd have enough money to buy a house from scratch if you wanted to. How much could a renovation on my mom's place hurt? I bet you'll barely even feel it, and my mom will be over the moon. Besides, we'd only be borrowing it. You'd get it all back eventually. So what'd you say, babe? Look, I'm begging you here. She said me and you are welcome to move in with her after it's all done.
Wow, really? Your mom said that?
Now, she was the one who suggested it, actually. I think she might be lonely without my dad around. Anyway, don't forget me and you will be inheriting the place one day. Think about it. Living there could be just what we need. We get to save money on rent, we can keep my mom company, and we can get used to living in our future home. I only see benefits. You always dreamed of us having our own home, right?
I see. I never thought she'd let us live with her. I guess that does change things. You know what? In that case, let's do it. So who's going to be doing the renovation? Know any good companies?
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. We need to do some research and get a feel for what the market price on that kind of thing is first. Actually, now that you mention it, we're hoping you could find us someone. Yeah, don't you have any connections from your old job? You used to work for a construction company, right? I wouldn't know the first thing about building houses, and you see stories on TV all the time about cowboy builders ripping people off by doing a shoddy job and disappearing with the cash.
I was just a receptionist. I guess there are a few people I can ask, though. There's no risk of running into any shady types if I ask around at my old company.
You're the best. You have no idea. I want to come over and give you a nice big sloppy kiss right now, sweet cheeks. My mom's gonna be ecstatic when she hears the news. Now she can finally start living like a normal human being again for the first time in years. I always felt uneasy about having her live all on her own in that dilapidated old house. I couldn't shake the feeling I'd failed her as a son.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but to tell you the truth, it always seemed more like a haunted house than a home to me.
You can say that again. You have no idea how much I hate going in the summer. I've never seen somewhere so riddled with cockroaches. She even had a family of raccoons living in the attic one time. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see the little rascals with my own eyes.
I always felt so uneasy on the stairs because they're so steep. It's a miracle she managed to get by her own there all this time.
No kidding. Like I said, she's been talking about renovating the place for a while now. But the money dried up when my dad's business went bust. They didn't have the leeway to fix up the house because they were so preoccupied with putting food on the table month to month.
You did say she had a rough time of it in the past.
My mom's always been good to me. And I wanted to have the whole place renovated on my own dime as a way of thanking her for everything she's done, but my salary isn't exactly big league. Like, it feels pathetic to say it, but I don't even have any savings. That's why I'm super grateful for you, babe. I mean it. I can't thank you enough for this. Huh? You're off work today, right? Did you go out somewhere?
Did you just wake up? I got a call from the construction company, so I'm heading out to talk some things through with them. They said when they started taking the house apart, the supports and foundations were a lot more water damaged than they expected. They said they wanted to discuss where we go from here.
Yeah, I knew it. So it's rotten to the core. I guess it was naive of me to think everything would be fine after all this time. It's plain to see how messed up the floor was. It's not that hard to imagine it would have seeped through to the foundation.
The guy told me the entire thing would have to be ripped up and replaced. Obviously, it's not going to come cheap, though. He told me to be ready for the possibility of it coming to a lot more than we first expected. Apparently, they have a system where they can get secondhand materials at a discount price. That's what he wants to talk to me about today.
I see. Not gonna lie, I don't understand any of this, babe, so I'm just gonna leave it to you.
I explained everything to your mom, too. She said she wouldn't be coming either. Are you guys sure about this? This is her house we're talking about, and it's gonna be yours one day. Are you sure you don't want to hear what the construction company has to say?
It's not that we don't want to hear them out, it's just that we've got such a high level of trust in your ability to deal with this and see to it that my mom gets the renovation of her dreams, that we don't see any point in coming. Besides, you know everything we want doing with the place, and you worked in construction, so you're a lot more knowledgeable about all this than we are.
I already told you I worked on reception. I really think you should both listen to what they have to say, Randy.
Even if we did listen, what then? I'm not exaggerating when I say we know literally nothing about construction. They may as well be speaking a different language. It would just be a waste of mine and my mom's time. A receptionist picks up a lot of info about a workplace. But besides, you were there for a long time. You may not realize it, but your brain is a treasure trove of construction knowledge.
I'm not sure exactly what you think a receptionist does, but I can assure you I know next to nothing about the actual work itself. I mostly dealt with appointments and administrative stuff.
That still makes you a damn sight more in the know than me. Look, I'd probably only complicate things the second I open my mouth. You don't leave me in your hair, babe. Things will go a lot more smoothly without me. Besides, you're the one paying for everything. It's gonna be your house one day. You can make these decisions on your own.
I'll still be anxious about moving things forward without any input from you. Anyway, my house? What are you talking about? I think you mean it's gonna be our house, not mine. I have a stake in this, and you should listen to what the construction company has to say.
Ah, jeez. Would you just drop it already? You're like a broken record. Look, you're my wife. It's a wife's job to deal with all things house-related. Like, surely you want to be the one to decide on the flow of the layout, since you're going to be the one doing the housework. I don't know jack about that.
Sure, I'd like to have a say in that. But still, deciding everything alone?
Relax. I said it's fine. Look, you have amazing taste, babe. I know that whatever you decide on will turn out great. You know what me and my mom want, so using that as your basis, mix in your own natural genius and talent and do something amazing with the place. We're giving you full creative license.
I'm just gonna tell them what you and your mom said.
Okay, just make sure you tell them so they do something amazing with the place. We're counting on you.
Don't this is getting a little... I have no idea you'd palm off an entire job on me like this. How is it fair that I have the weight of something this important on my shoulders? The least you can give me is some input.
I'm not palming anything off on you, babe. Don't be so dramatic. We just have a lot of faith in you.
That's a clever way of saying you're making me do everything. Would it really hurt you, or your mom, to help me out just a little bit on this? It's not like I'm asking you to do anything major. Whoopee! I'm finally on my way to my new house. Thanks for all your hard work, Jessica dear. You're a star. Your savings have been indispensable in turning that worn-out old shack into the home of my dreams. Is this how you treat your daughter-in-law, who just paid to have your entire house renovated? To think you announced your son's divorcing me on the day we were both supposed to move in with you. You're horrible. Was this your plan, all along? To use me to get what you wanted, and then toss me by the wayside when you're done? Aw, I don't like your word choice, dear. Use and lost by the wayside? Made me sound very unpleasant, which I am of course not. But my son was fully on board when I told him to divorce you. Thanks for paying for the renovation on my house. Next up, a new daughter-in-law. I knew it. You were using me for my savings to get your house fixed up all along, weren't you? You and Randy make me sick. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Thanks for saving up so hard. It's only right you use that money to make your husband and his family happy. That is your job as his wife, after all, dear. Is getting kicked out and divorced part of my job as his wife, too? You got some nerve. Why, yes, dear. Since you ask, yes, it is. Wake up and smell the coffee. You have no value to us beyond your savings account. It's time for us to say our final goodbyes, you ugly cave troll. I'll see to it that Randy picks someone better looking next time. Actually, that won't do. He never did have good taste in women. There's nothing else for it. I'll have to find your replacement myself. You're enjoying every second of this, aren't you? I see you and my husband are just as stupid as each other. Have you still not noticed? Stupid? How dare you speak to me like that, you insolent little cretin? Noticed what? Did you really think I didn't figure out your scheme. I can read you like a book. I figured out. You're only using me for my savings a long time ago. You did? Well, good for you, darling. Congratulations. So what? This changes nothing. The divorce is already set in stone, and no amount of kicking or screaming will change that. Stop being a sore loser and accept your fate. Please, I could care less about the divorce. In fact, there's nothing I want more. I have no intention of clinging to a low life like him. I promise you one thing, though. You're not going to be laughing for long. I suggest you prepare yourself with what's coming, Jill. What does that mean? Are you threatening me? I couldn't help but feel like there was something fishy going on when you left the entire renovation on your house to me. It played on my mind. So I decided to take a look at Randy's phone while he wasn't looking. And what do you know? I realized exactly what was going on the moment I saw yours and his message history. You were snooping on my son? You vile creep! You're messed up in the head, you paranoid freak! You probably should have been so brazenly arrogant about what you were doing to me in those messages. Now I have no choice but to take a few retaliatory measures of my own. Retaliatory measures? What does that even mean? Now, what do I care? There's nothing you could possibly do to us now. The renovation is already finished. You have no power over us. You're right. The renovation is finished. Your new house is ready and waiting for you. I really think you should go take a look. What's that supposed to mean? No time to waste. Go on, Jill. Hurry up and go home. I can't wait to see your reactions. What have you done? This is my house? That's the reaction I was waiting for. You're behind this, aren't you? Yep. You and Randy are gonna be living there starting today. Welcome to your new home. I wish you a life of happiness and comfort. What the hell is wrong with you? I can't live in a house like this. The renovation's not even finished. It most definitely is. You're looking at the finished product. How can it be finished when the construction's only halfway done? You call this a renovation? Are you serious? It looks like it's ready for demolition. You guys said I could do whatever I wanted with the place. So I did just that. Exactly what I wanted. Forget wallpaper. These walls haven't even been insulated. It's just a skeleton. There's not a single door in the house. Even the front door is gone. This house isn't fit for a dog to live in, let alone me and my son. It's cool though. Don't panic. There's method to the madness. Randy told me he wanted to go for a stylish theme, so I did some thinking, and that's when it hit me. There's nothing more stylish than minimalism these days. What I did with your place is obviously a more extreme form of minimalism, but that just makes it all the more stylish. Things like doors, windows, and insulation are nothing but leftover of a bygone age. You just don't get houses that innovative. You're gonna be the talk of the town. Leftovers of a bygone age? But we need those things! What in God's name have you done to my house? You have no right to complain after leaving everything to me. You had plenty of opportunities to have a say in the design. Not just you, but Randy too. It was nothing but, we're counting on you, Jessica, from start to finish. I tried and begged and pleaded to get you to take some kind of active role, even if only a small role, but it was like I was talking to a brick wall. If you don't like how it turned out, then you should have overseen the renovation your damn selves. You could have at least showed up once in a while to check up how things were going.
The fact you only just noticed despite the fact the builders have been working on it for months makes this completely and utterly 100% your fault. No, I simply cannot go along with this. Call the builders. Tell them to come back. Get them to finish what they started. They have a legal responsibility to do what you hired them to do. You're right. They do. But they already fulfilled it. Because that is what I hired them to do. Besides, you seem to be forgetting the small issue of money. Who exactly do you think is going to be paying for this second renovation? You said it yourself. I have no value to you guys anymore. And Randy just divorced me. So, yeah, we're done. You won't be getting another cent out of me. If you want another renovation, do it yourselves. Why do you think we had you pay for it in the first place? We don't have any money. You know that, don't you? You will not get away with this. Nope, that's my line. We're still not done here. Because you'll be paying me back every last cent I shelled out for the renovation. I already hired a lawyer. Some letters should be arriving in the post any day now. Have you ever been to civil court before, Jill? I suggest you make the necessary preparations. Oh, and it's not just the renovation money you'll be paying me. You'll also be paying compensation for the emotional distress you caused me.
Do not screw us around, Jessica. You have my mom's house stripped down to its goddamn frame. She's crying her eyes out here because of you. How do you sleep at night, you psycho?
Oh, hi, Randy. You're there too. What do you think of your new house? I hope you and your mom live happily ever after there.
I said don't screw me around, woman. This ain't a joke. This is our lives we're talking about here. Call the builders now.
Sure, I can give the construction company a call, but that doesn't mean they'll do anything else to the house. They did exactly as I asked them. So, as far as they and the law are concerned, the work is finished. If you want something more livable, you should probably go ahead and pay for another renovation.
You've really gone and done it this time.
Gone and done what? Exactly what you told me to? You should be more careful when you tell people to do as they please.
Is this a joke? What construction company worth their salt leaves a house looking like this? Surely they don't think this is normal.
They're professionals, Randy. Which means they do as much work as they're paid for, and not a smidgen more. If you want more work done, then you'll have to pay for it. And by you, yes, I mean you. I'm done eating into my savings for a pair of hateful ingrates like you. You're probably better off keeping a hold of your money for the time being, though. You're gonna have my compensation to think about soon, and believe me, I won't be going easy on you.
I've heard revenge stories before, huh? But who the hell takes revenge like this? You might have been mad with us, but that doesn't justify leaving my mom's house in this state. Surely you see this is going too far. How could you do this to us? This house has been in my family for generations.
If it's so important to you, you probably should have paid more attention to it. Isn't there even a teeny tiny part of you that thinks this might be your fault? And please, going too far? This is exactly what you deserve for what you did to me. If anything, I didn't go far enough. Good luck finding a new wife to live there with you. Something tells me you might have your work cut out finding someone who wants to live in a wooden frame with you. But who knows? Stranger things have happened.
You psycho bitch. You'll never get away with this. I don't know where the hell you're hiding away, but I'm gonna hunt you down, and when I find you, I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of you. I'm so glad we're getting a divorce. Screw you.
Did you just threaten me? Do you want me to bring even more charges against you? We can do criminal court as well if that's what you want. I really don't mind. It just means I get more money.
What? Hey, what? That wasn't a threat.
You're not the one who gets to decide that. Question is, did I feel threatened? I can't tell you how terrified and anxious I am right now.
No, please, stop. No more charges, okay? I'm begging you. Sorry, I didn't mean what I just said. I just got worked up and my emotions got the better of me.
Okay, I guess I'll let you off the hook. To tell you the truth, having all those trials to deal with would be a pain in the butt. But you do well to remember this. If you ever speak to me like that again, I'll press charges. No questions asked. Do I make myself clear? Well, answer me. I don't take kindly to being ignored. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah.
Insulting and threatening me should be the last thing on your mind right now. You should be getting on your knees and begging forgiveness.
Please fix the house somehow. Me and my mom can't live like this. We'll die of frostbite.
Sure you can. I have absolute faith in you both. Get some blankets or something. I know you'll be fine if you just try your best.
Try our best? You're asking us to live in a frickin' wooden frame. We have zero defenses against cold, wind, or rain. It'll be more like camping than living in a house. Sure, there's technically a roof over our heads, but I hesitate to call it that.
Okay, so finish it up yourselves? It doesn't take a genius to hammer nails into planks of wood.
Don't be so ridiculous.
Then either quit your whining, suck it up, and give living there your best shot, or find somewhere else. Either way, you're not my problem.
How many times do I have to tell you we don't have any money? How can we find anywhere else when we're broke? Not only are we broke, but we're somehow gonna have to figure out a way to keep coming up with the money for the storage container with all my stuff in. It was only supposed to be for a couple days. The bottom line is we're broke, so my mom's place is all we have.
Okay, looks like you don't have a choice then.
Please, will you just hold off on the whole compensation thing? We're gonna struggle enough as it is with how things are. We'd be finished if we had compensation to deal with on top of it. It's not that we won't pay. We don't have any way of paying you at this exact point in time.
Sure, have your way. How about selling off all of your belongings and canceling your insurance plan? Or why not try thinking outside of the box? How about quitting your job and retiring early so you can give me your entire retirement fund? Can you even do that? Ugh, I don't know, and I don't care. Anyway, the point is, you have more than enough ways of coming up with my money if you just use your head.
You're evil. How am I supposed to get by if I quit my job?
Not my problem. I don't care what happens to you as long as I get my money. You can both burn in hell for all I care.
Oh my god. Jessica, please tell me you don't really mean that.
Yes, 100%. And whose fault is it? Yours. You and your mom took me for a moron by manipulating me into fixing her house. Then you tossed me aside the moment you were done with me. That house is perfect for you now. I couldn't think of a more suitable place for a pair of scumbags like you to live. Looks like you weren't able to get your dream home or a new wife after all, huh, Randy? I wish you and your darling mother the best of luck. You're gonna need living in that pile of junk. With that, the husband and mother-in-law from hell had nowhere else to go. They crept into the local garbage dump and stole some corrugated metal sheets to act as walls for their new house, desperate to make it livable somehow. It must have worked, because last I heard, they still live there. Apparently they even have a tent now. However, it wasn't all plain sailing. They were reported to the local authority by a concerned neighbor, and subsequently told to fix it up because it was dangerous. While all that was going on, I took the two of them to civil court, intent on getting my money back. I put in claims for the renovation money and compensation. They were forced to sell all of their belongings to come up with the money. Randy also quit his job to access his retirement fund because he mistakenly thought you weren't allowed to make withdrawals from it while still working. But it turns out you are. I only said that because I didn't know. He quit his job unnecessarily because he's too much of a moron to look into anything for himself. So now, not only is his retirement fund gone, but he is also unemployed. Anyway, I got my money in the end, and that's all that matters. As for the terrible two, they didn't end up losing the house, but they also couldn't afford any more renovations on it. Which means, even to this day, the home passed down their family through the generations is nothing but a sorry-looking wooden frame. Having won back all of my money, and then some, I moved back in with my parents, where I'm currently living happily while saving up again. I have no idea what exactly I'm going to spend all this money on yet. But one thing's for sure, I'm spending it on myself this time.
Zoe, thank you again for taking care of my kids today. Both Jake and May say that they love being with you so much and look forward to the next time they both will be over.
Good evening, Rihanna. I'm just glad to hear that both your kids didn't get too bored staying over here with me. I don't have a lot of games or anything for them to do, and my yard isn't big enough for them to really run around in.
That's fine, Zoe. And one other thing. Jake told me that you gave him a lot of vegetables for lunch. Maybe next time try and give him more meat or something. That boy doesn't like to eat vegetables, Zoe.
Wait, does he have an allergy to them or something?
No, he doesn't. He just does not like eating them. He told me that green things make him feel as though he's eating boogers and so won't be eating them anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought giving them a well-balanced lunch today would be good for them, and so I probably didn't end up giving him a lot of veggies.
Well, when it comes to May, she loves vegetables, so give her as much as you want. But Jake would like things besides green things. So next time, do vegetables for May, and meat or something for Jake. Maybe even just make them 2 separate meals in general to make it easy on yourself.
Oh, wait. Are you asking me to make 2 separate meals for them the next time then? And that's easy, you think?
Yeah, is that a problem?
I'm sorry, but that would be a bit much for me. It can't take that much time to make lunch for them while I work. It already took away 2 hours of my day as it is, just getting them to calm down and eat everything.
But it's just food for a couple of kids, so you can get it done in no time. How bad are you at working in the kitchen, Zoe? I'll ask my brother next time and maybe he'll tell me what you've really been feeding to the kids.
Rihanna, I've told you before that I have work to do at home, and right now is the busiest time of the year, so I really can't be away from my computer and phone all day to be dealing with your kids' food.
I know that. You work from home, right? And that's the whole reason I've asked you to watch my kids. You're already there, so what's wrong with letting my kids run around?
But just because I'm home doesn't mean that I'm not working my job. I may be working from home, but I'm doing the exact same amount of work as anyone else that has to go to their job site. So, I have to say it again, I don't really have time to always watch your kids.
But today you were able to look after them, right?
And that's because you came over unannounced and left them here with me. I didn't have any other choice at that point, or else I'd be leaving your kids on the street. So please, refrain from doing that again. It's been 4 times now this month that you've done that. And also, can you stop coming over here without telling me first? I can understand when you're really busy and forget, but every time is not acceptable. We're both adults, and we have to communicate with one another like adults.
Well, I'm always busy with other things, and that's why tomorrow I'll be leaving them with you again. There, this time I've told you that they're coming to stay.
Are you listening to anything I'm saying? I can't do my job when both of your kids are here. Both your kids are still very young, so I can't just leave them to care for themselves. I've already had to tell my boss a few times now about this, and she's starting to get impatient with me when it comes to always being late on my assignments. They are both your children after all, so either find time yourself to care for them, or hire a babysitter.
Want me to rely on someone else? You know that my mom has passed away, right? So, who would I be able to ask to take care of my kids besides you?
And this is the kind of situation where you go out and find someone that can look after them. There are plenty of younger people around looking for babysitting jobs that would love to come over and be with them while you're out of the house. But it's because I don't know anyone else that I give them to you. I don't feel safe leaving my babies with someone that I don't know. If you just thought about my point of view for a second, you'd understand. You must be selfish or something if you're not willing to give them some of your time to help the family. But I have a full-time job to tend to, and I'm in a pretty important position that requires me to focus on what's going on and keep up with my workload. What about quitting your job? Can't be even making that much if you're working from home, right? And my brother, your husband, is working an actual job right now. So, there's no real reason for you to be working as well. How about you become my kid's babysitter for good? I wouldn't have to pay you anything, but I'll give you an IOU for the future. I cannot just get up and leave my job. This company is counting on me to do my work, and if I'm not able to, they might ask me to start commuting back to the office, which is 2.5 hours away. Can you please stop trying with me already? I've given you my answer to this, so there's no need to keep trying. Come on, I was just half joking right there. Don't get so worked up over this. You really are too serious to really have fun with, Zoe. You can't even take a joke, huh? I'm sorry, but this has been driving me up the wall a bit. If only you had a bit of humor in you, then I might be willing to act more kind to you. Like me, for an example. Everyone knows that I'm always joking around, and that's why they always listen to me. Alright. You should be taking it easy around me too. Well, anyway, I'd like you to watch my kids tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it. What? Hold on a minute, Rihanna. I told you that tomorrow isn't happening. I've already told you why. Can you please understand that I have work to do here and it doesn't involve caring for your kids? Rihanna? Where are you right now, Rihanna? I have a deadline that ends today and I really can't be handling your kids right now. Come and take them back with you. Today is seriously not the day for me to have me watch them. My manager is expecting the project handed in within the next few hours, and I only have half of it done for her. Well then, maybe you should have worked on it when you had free time. And besides, I have plans myself. What kind of plans could those be that require you once again to leave your kids here all day? I have to go to the hospital. My head has been hurting a little bit, so I needed to go in or else I felt I was going to pass out. And those kids were not helping me any with getting over it. That's probably just because you're hungover right now, Rihanna. When you were just here a bit ago, dropping the kids off, you smelled like pure liquor. I didn't think I'd ever smell that much alcohol on you, but it almost made me throw up. What are you talking about? Are you saying that their mother likes to drink in the middle of the day? How dare you! That's not what I'm saying. Just that you're probably hungover and need to take better care of yourself. This is coming from my husband, but he wants you to stop leaving your kids with me every day as well. I spoke to him about this and he says that at most you should only be leaving them with us once a month. Why should I stop though? You're my family after all, so it should be fine, right? I might be your family, but when I say I can't do it, that means I cannot do it. If you happen to come here again tomorrow with your kids, I will not open the door for you. I haven't been able to do my job recently, so I'll be going out somewhere now to get the work done. So please understand my situation and let this be the last day for a while. And that's totally fine with me. But if you're willing to leave the house open for me, then my kids will have to wait outside your house all day. That would be pretty careless of you, right? They could get hit by a car or something if they wander too far. Are you being serious about that? Yes, I am very serious right now. What's wrong with that though, Zoe? You just told me that you're fine locking them out of the house. Both of your kids are really young and you plan to just leave them outside my house? Don't be doing something so dangerous with them. Well, if you're so worried about them, then stay home and do your job with them around.
You're too nice to be ignoring both my babies.
Why are you doing this to me?
It doesn't cost anything, right? If I had to leave them at the daycare or have a babysitter for them, it cost me quite a bit of money. And my family doesn't have that kind of money just laying around.
But still, you can't just keep ignoring me by leaving your kids here every day.
Shut up, Zoe. Jeez. You're my little brother's wife, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, that means, by relation, you're also my wife.
Huh?
Normally, I leave what happens to you up to my mom in deciding what to do here. But she's long gone, and it's my job to tell you what to do.
Why are you thinking all of this that way?
Because that's just how things go now in this family. And since my husband isn't the oldest in the family, and I'm his wife, do you really think it's a good idea to go against our word?
This isn't about me going against what you ask or not.
Anyway, I have things to deal with right now, so you have to help me by caring for the kids. Or better yet, would you be willing to pay me to have a babysitter?
If you want a sitter, then maybe you should ask your husband to pay for them. And why are you always handing your kids off to me like this in the first place? What's your reason for it? I've heard you say over and over that you have to go to the hospital, or that you have to run errands. But there's no way you have those things going on every single day. Is there something else that's taking your time away that we need to know about?
Alright, listen. As a mother, I'd like to have a break every once in a while. I've had to care for those kids every day, and it's a 24-hour job watching for the both of them, and that'll go on for years, right? Do you not feel any sympathy for me having to go all through this?
I haven't had kids of my own yet, so I'm not sure how you feel. But I do think that having to raise kids is a hard job for anybody, no matter who they are. But I think that in your case, you should be talking to your husband about how to handle your kids instead of me.
Well, my husband doesn't do anything for me, so that's the reason I rely on you.
Well, if that's the problem, how about we ask him to join us and discuss all of this? My husband and I will sit in as well and help the conversation along.
Huh? No way! I've never have to talk with my husband about the kids, and I have no plans to.
Well, if you guys are not able to have a simple discussion about this, then maybe you need to get yourself someone to help.
No, thank you. My husband is working his butt off right now, making money for the family.
But this has been really stressful for you, right?
But that's why I want you to take care for my kids now. That's it. Once I've had some time to relax, I'll get right back to caring for those two.
But if you do that, you're going to be causing issues with my life. I understand that you're in a bit of a predicament right now. So if you only bring them over once a week, I'll take care of them. But that only means once per week. Any more than that, and I'm going to bring this up with your husband.
But I told you already that there's nobody else I can rely on. Why are you not listening to me? I've been trying to be nice to you about handling my kids, but you keep pushing back as though I'm the problem, Zoe.
But this is hurting me. How about you have your husband's mom come and take care of the kids for a while?
Huh? You're asking me to have my mother-in-law care for them?
Yes. A little while back, while I was out finishing some errands, I came across the flower shop she works at, and she was telling me that she really wants to see her grandchildren.
Huh? Why did you go and talk to her without me?
No, I was just there to get some flowers is all when I ran into her.
You didn't tell her anything about me having you take care of my kids, right?
I did not.
Well, if that's the truth, then I'm safe. Just make sure that if you see her again, you don't bring it up. If you do, then she'll start getting on about me about not seeing her grandkids.
Or, why don't we ask her if she'd be willing to watch your kids while you relax? She already has way more experience than me with taking care of children, so they'd be far better off with her, right?
Hey? If I was able to have her take care of my kids, wouldn't I be doing that already? You're an idiot, Zoe. Can you use your head when talking to me? Hey, Zoe, I bet you were the kind of girl that got picked on a lot when you were in high school, right?
Huh?
I'm asking if you're the kind of girl that's too weak to defend herself, so you were easy pickings for others in school, right? Well, the first time I met you, I could already tell that. Always thinking back that in school you must have been the one everyone made fun of. You probably had a lot of bullies, right? What are you talking about right now? I'm asking you to shut up and take care of my kids. I can see that you don't want to, but I don't care. And you sitting there trying to make excuses for me to not give you my kids is annoying as hell.
But is there any reason for you to be talking to me about my past now?
Oh, did I make you start remembering horrible memories of your school life? I knew that you were easy to pick on back then.
I don't care what you think of me, Rihanna. Go ahead and imagine anything you'd like even. But what you think about my past and me taking care of your kids have nothing to do with one another.
Oh, are you starting to get upset with me now because I started prying? But what I've said about you is the truth. Now, what happens if I were to leave my kids outside your house and you weren't there to let them in? They'd probably tell me and my husband about it later, and that might cause some drama in the family, right? Are you willing to destroy our whole family just because you don't like to help me out?
I'm done here. I get what you're trying for here, and so I'm doing what I have to do.
Perfect. You seem to have finally come around to me again. Doing as I say has always been the way to handle things. And just as a little heads up, if you let my little brother know about this, I'm not sure what I might do to you.
Is that a threat?
It's not a threat. I'm just telling you that I'll really do something bad to you is all. And so to avoid that, you better continue to watch my kids when I say to. If you can continue to help me when I tell you to, then maybe one day I'll be willing to help you when you're in need. For example, if you need an alibi for having an affair.
I would never ask such a thing of you.
Well, that may be so. After all, I don't see why I'd ever want to help you. And I'm sure that you'd never cheat on my brother either. It was such a huge accomplishment finding a man to marry you in the first place, right? Just make sure you don't fool around any, or else you might not get the help you're looking for. Hey Zoe, where are you right now?
Where I am has nothing to do with you.
Huh? What the hell are you trying to hide from me? I had just started to think you'd finally gotten used to taking care of my kids for me. So what's up with you acting this way towards me now?
But Rihanna, you never tell me where you run off to when you leave your kids with me, right?
I'm not allowed to do that. And actually, I just saw you a second ago. Were you near the subway station? What happened to watching my kids? Don't tell me that you left my kids home and are going out by yourself.
Oh, don't worry about a thing. I left them with the babysitting pro.
Babysitting pro? What are you talking about? Did you actually hire a babysitter for them?
Actually, I have them with their grandma right now.
My mother-in-law is looking after them?
Yep. I had some errands to run today, and so I called your mother-in-law and let her take care of them for me.
You're kidding, right?
Not one bit.
But I haven't heard anything from her about this.
Yeah, that would be right.
Hey, you tell me what all is going on right now.
How about you wait for a little bit? I have some things I want to check on first.
Check on what? Hey! Why are you leaving my 2 babies with my mother-in-law? Don't tell me that the whole reason you've been so accepting of watching them is because you've had my mother-in-law to help you. Say something to me. Are you trying to make me cry right now?
Oh, I was just able to confirm it.
What have you been trying to confirm, though?
I was just making sure it's okay for me to tell the truth.
Huh? Are you fucking with me right now?
I'm going to say this very concisely. I had asked your mother-in-law, Patty, to watch over the kids for me, and as she's been doing that, I've been going out and looking into everything you've been doing. Rihanna, every day you've had me watch your kids has been because you go out to see another man, right? A man that is not your husband.
What? What are you talking about?
I have all the evidences I need, so there's no need to play dumb with me. Also, I made sure to tell your husband about this a couple of days ago.
Oh, what? My husband knows about this?
Yes.
But he's been acting so normal recently. Even though he went to his office like he always does, I never thought anything between him and I changed. He was making sure that to keep you from stealing the kids, he kept a calm face. All to make sure that you wouldn't know that he was preparing for a divorce. A divorce? Well, yeah, Rihanna. You were giving up your responsibility of taking care of your kids so that you could get your salad tossed by another man. Is there any reason for him to not divorce you now? Wait, but our kids are still too young to have lived through a divorce. Especially when that could mean being taken away from their own mom. Don't you feel any remorse for them? You never watched them and would leave them with me to go have an affair. Do you think your kids need you around them? Well, if there was a divorce, the wife usually gets the kids in the end. I'm sure that my husband doesn't want to lose custody of them. So there's no way he'd divorce me due to this. Well, I heard otherwise from him. He told me that when he'd have days off, or when it was the weekends, you'd leave the kids with him while you ran off by yourself, and then during the week, you'd leave them with me. Since when have you been acting like a mother, Rihanna? I'm sorry, but the court isn't going to favor you with handing the custody of them to you when you couldn't even care for them in the first place. No way! I don't want to get divorced yet. Why are you saying that to me? Maybe right now's the time to go talk to your husband about that. Why the hell have you done this to me? I told you to never tell Patty or my husband. I'll never forgive you for this one, Zoe. I don't give a crap if you do or don't. I'm sure that back in your day, you always threatened kids into doing things for you like that. But fortunately, we are both adults now, or at least I am, and so I can actually stick up for myself. You are not going to be a bully to me, and we're not even in school anymore, so stop acting like you can get away with that childish behavior. I'm going to make sure your life is ruined forever. I'm sure the only one having their life ruined is going to be you, once your husband had had his way. And here's one thing. Stop trying to act as though their kids that was easily picked on in high school can still be picked on today. We are over 18 now, so the law does not apply to the both of us, and I can make sure you burn in hell for acting that way you have been. I'm going to have you and my brother get a divorce as well then. My mom would be doing the same thing right now. I'm sure what she'd be really doing is cutting ties with you forever. You have nobody that's on your side right now. Before you start trying to get all on me for being a good wife or not, you should try making sure that you can be a good mother to your kids. But it's all because you're so selfish and don't care about your responsibilities that things have turned out this way. It's about time you start acting like an adult. Please. What's going to happen to me? Is he really thinking of divorcing me? He told me that's exactly what he wants. He already sees that his mom will be here for him when you're gone to help care for the kids. So don't worry about Jake and May, and just enjoy life on your own now. Zoe, do something about this. I don't want this. I don't want to be separated from my husband and kids. Well, if you didn't want any of that, then maybe you should have taken care of your kids and stayed away from other men. Well, I can see that now. I just wanted to have a little fun and catch a fresh breath of air. Well, maybe you should have chosen another way to help refresh yourself. I don't want to be divorced. Zoe, I'll apologize for everything I've done. Please save me. Please come and help me. Hell no. I don't care about you, Rihanna. I care about your kids, and I care about your husband's well-being, but not you. And at this point, even if I wanted to help you, I don't have the power to. Patty has already told me that she wants you nowhere near her son or grandkids, and I know your husband isn't forgiving you for this. I know that you tried so hard to make me feel as though I wasn't trying hard enough for the family, but if you didn't want us all throwing you away, maybe you should have tried a bit harder. Thereafter, Rihanna and her husband discussed the divorce, but things didn't fully become completed until half a year later. Rihanna was a housewife her whole life, and even before the marriage, never had a job of her own. But I did hear she was able to pay off the settlement she owed for cheating by using all of her savings. Also, the rights to the children were also given her ex, and now she has to continue to pay child support to them every month. We're all aware that she's never worked a day in her life, but if she's not able to find a job soon, she won't be able to afford child support or to take care for herself. So at this time, she has to tough it up and try her best with whatever job she's offered to keep on track so that there's no more punishments handed to her. And as for the men she had been sleeping with, they were all met on a dating app, and she had quite a few of them. Because of this, she ended up having multiple different STDs, hence her always having to go to the hospital for things. She has asked that we help her pay to go to the hospital for her treatments, but my husband and I never planned to hand her a penny for that stuff. That is what she asked for when destroying her loyalty to her family. And I don't think a single person agrees that what she did was okay. The only thing I'll be willing to give her now is my hopes that she'll one day learn from all of this and grow into an actual adult. On another note, after the divorce had been completed, Rihanna's kids were sent home with their ex's mom, where they now live with her. She will even bring them to work with her sometimes to help around flower shop, and they all look like they're having a blast being there. And of course, whenever there is moments that neither of them to take care of the kids, my husband offered to care for them for the day. Both Jake and May are such cute kids, and I want to make sure that they are raised into proper adults so that they understand the wrongs of their mother one day.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Olivia. My name's Diane. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for earlier. Oh, hey there, Diane. I can't believe I'm only just talking to my little brother's wife for the first time. I wanted to introduce myself to you today, but I was so tied up with everything I didn't get a chance. I wanted to meet you too, sweetie. Don't worry about it, though. I get that you had a lot on your plate. So, Diane, huh? It's nice to finally speak to you. It's a shame we still haven't been able to meet for real. I was hoping I could see you before you went home, but I guess it couldn't be helped. I've been waiting for Gary to tell me your name for ages now. Sorry about that. I did want to stay, but I had some urgent plans that I just couldn't break away from, so I had to go home. But fear not, because Gary gave me your phone number. We're finally in touch. Yeah, I'm really pleased. Here's to a long, bright future as sisters-in-law. Yeah, right. Anyway, Olivia, I hope you don't think I'm rude in saying that, but the look on your face earlier was hilarious. Weren't you a little too surprised when me and Gary showed up? You looked like you'd seen a ghost. It's only natural I'd be surprised. Anyone would be a little shocked if their estranged brother, who they hadn't heard from for years, suddenly showed up at their house out of the blue. That would be surprising enough on its own, but I got hit with a double whammy when I realized he was married and brought his new wife along. My jaw almost hit the floor. When did you get married? The wedding was almost half a year ago. Hey, Olivia, want to hear the story of how we met? I'd love to hear it one day. But if you don't mind me asking, why did you guys come? It's not that I wasn't pleased to see you, but I was a little surprised when you went home so soon after coming out all this way to see us. We just wanted to see your guys' reaction. Any girl would be curious about what her man's family are like, no? Gary told me so many stories about you guys since we met that I was really eager to see you in the flesh. I wanted to know what kind of house you lived in, too. And boy, was I impressed. It's beautiful. Is it a new build? New-ish. We had it built around 5 years back. I was blown away when I realized you lived in such a trendy house. Did you have it built through Peeps Homes? Yeah. Wow, how did you know? You've got a good eye for this kind of thing, huh? I was super surprised when I saw it for the first time, too. My mom had built it while I was living out in Singapore for work, so I wasn't there for the grand unveiling. I think a house that marvelous is wasted with just you and your sick mom in it. She gets admitted to the hospital all the time, right? Gary told me all about how many different illnesses and ailments she has. Not to mention all the medications she's on. Her medicine cabinet must be like a mini pharmacy. Anyways, her constantly being in and out of the hospital like that must mean you're basically living there on your own. Sure, it used to be that way, but she's been resting up at home a lot lately, so it feels less like I'm on my own again now. Besides, being a new build, it's really well insulated, which makes it perfect for my mom to recover in. To be honest, I'd say I feel more peace of mind when she's here with me than when she's in the hospital. The ventilation's great, and we get this lovely, refreshing breeze that passes through the house in the day. The lighting's amazing, and we can even see the Rocky Mountains from the north side windows. For my mom, who spends a lot of time in bed, it's the perfect house. I can't imagine any hospital even coming close to this level of comfort.
Wow, really? That sounds so cool. It was rainy and misty today, so I didn't notice the Rocky Mountains. But that must be such a picturesque view.
I have to ask you this, Diane. But don't you and my brother have any intention of helping out with my mom's care? I'm finding it really difficult on my own.
What? No way, that ain't gonna be happening, sweetie. Why would we go out of our way to take on the burden of something we know is gonna eat up huge chunks of our time and stress the living heck out of us? What kind of masochists do you take us for?
I see. Fine, whatever, I guess. I didn't expect anything of you to begin with, so I can't say I'm surprised.
Everyone knows that looking after elderly parents is the eldest daughter's job. I get that you might be struggling, but don't you think trying to palm your responsibilities off onto your little bro and his wife just because they happen to pay you a visit is a tad brazen? Don't you think this presumptuous attitude of yours might have had something to do with you not hearing from Gary for years?
Wow, Diane, do you even know how ridiculous that sounds? I'm pretty sure the only reason my brother didn't come home is because he felt awkward and embarrassed. He was scared of me lecturing him for what he did, wasn't he? Surely he must have told you about everything that happened.
Lecturing? Everything that happened? What do you mean?
Oh, so he kept it quiet from you then, did he? How convenient. Gary took my mom's wedding ring without her permission and sold it for cheap at a pawn shop. He's always been the troublemaker of the family. I could go on all day about the never-ending list of crap he's pulled over the years. For example, the time he bought himself a new Porsche with our dad's life insurance payout when he died.
Surely that's your mom's fault for not giving him a big enough cut of the money. What else was he supposed to do if he was struggling?
Wow, seriously? Even hearing tales of my brother's stupendous scumbaggery doesn't put you off of him?
Gary's my husband. We're a team, and I'll always have his back no matter what. That's what being married is all about.
Forgive me if this is a rude question, but what exactly is it about my brother that you like?
He's handsome.
Oh, I see.
He's just my type. Not only is he handsome, but he's rugged, masculine, charming. He has all the traits a man should have. He really is amazing.
I'm pleased to hear you think so highly of him. Anyway, would you mind telling him I'd like him to come and visit our mom every now and then? I hate to say it, but she's been getting so much worse lately that there's no telling when something serious might happen. I'd feel awful if they never got to see each other again. I think he should make the most of the time we all have together while we have it, because one day it'll be too late. And I don't want him to spend the rest of his life full of regret.
Yes, boss. I'll pass on the message. Hey, Olivia. Long time no speak. Me and Gary are going to be living with you at your mom's place from starting today. Our things will be arriving just after noon, so be a darling and get ready to bring it all inside for us.
Excuse me?
We'll be there in about 30 minutes. Start preparing the buffet, sweetie. We're starving. We're gonna need supper later on as well. I'll take a roast duck with plum sauce, mushrooms, mixed vegetables, and cashew nuts. Gary said he wants lasagna with cottage cheese, eggplant, spinach. Oh, and of course, we'll both be needing champagne and plenty of it.
Whoa. Just slow down for a second there, Diane. Can we start back at the beginning? Would you mind explaining what you mean when you say you're going to be living with us? Actually, you know what? Before that, how about you explain what the hell you've been playing at all this time? You didn't even show up at Mom's funeral. Do you have any idea how many times we tried contacting you? You think we have enough free time on our hands to be answering your phone calls? We were busy getting ready for the move. You should have told us the old lady looked ready to kick the bucket if you wanted us to come. You can hardly expect us to drop everything and rush over for the funeral at a moment's notice. Removal vans don't come cheap, you know. What the hell are you talking about, Olivia? This is the first I've heard of you moving house. You're the only one left at your mom's place since she died, right? You must be lonely. We're gonna do you a huge favor and come keep you company because we're so kind. Besides, a house that magnificent is wasted on a single woman like you. It's such an amazing place. We think it at least deserves the respect of being lived in properly. Wow, so that's why you took it upon yourself to decide you're coming to live with me, is it? This house isn't wasted on me at all. Don't be so arrogant. Oh, yes, it is. It's wasted on you, and me and Gary are gonna fix that. It makes far more sense for a couple like us to live there, because unlike you, we have a future. We'll probably have kids before long. Then Gary will inherit the house, and we can live there with our new family happily ever after. Wait a sec, are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? That I should leave? Why should I? I lived here for the last 5 years with Mom before she passed away. I was responsible for all of her care. All of the housework, paid the bills, did all the grocery shopping, and now you're telling me I should leave? Maybe all those things are true, but the point still stands that me and Gary already ended the contract on our apartment and hired the removal van. Your mom's house is the only place we have left to go. I can't tell you how excited we are about moving into our nice, big, spacious, detached house in the country with a view of the mountains. Our old place was a cramped little shoebox-sized apartment in the city. I can't tell you what it's like to finally be leaving that cockroach-infested hellhole. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't text, you don't call, you don't visit, you don't even show up at our mom's damn funeral. You don't show the slightest care for her while she was sick and dying. I literally haven't heard from either of you in years. And then you think you get to show up out of the blue and announce you're moving into her house as soon as she dies? I can't believe you left your apartment and hired a removal company without even freaking consulting me first. You're unreal. Listen, Olivia, I wanted to do this the polite way, but if you insist on whining at me like this, I have no choice. I'm just gonna come out with it. You don't belong in a house that trendy. It's like giving the crown jewels to a peasant. Fortunately, it just so happens that me and Gary are a perfect fit for the place. We're trendy, we're hip, we're up to date on all the latest fashion trends, we make a lot of money. Basically, we're winners in life. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if house prices shot up when people got wind of a couple as cool as us moving into the neighborhood. I see. Things are finally starting to make sense. I think I understand why you guys showed up out of the blue that time half a year ago now. As far as you guys were concerned, that was a house viewing, wasn't it? Oopsie! Did we get busted? I remember it like it was yesterday. I fell in love with the house the moment I saw it, my dream home. You don't have to worry about the place though, sweetie. I'll take good care of it. Hurry up and get your things together and get the hell out. You're nothing but a nuisance in the way of mine and Gary's happiness. I see how it is. All right, have it your way. I'll leave. But I want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, you and my brother are the last people who should be living in that house. Oh, what's this? The distant cries of a bitter loser? Believe me, Olivia, me and Gary are a perfect fit, so you need to hurry up and get the hell out. Preferably before we arrive so we don't have to look at your ugly face, okay? Thanks, sweetie. Hey, why aren't you picking up the phone? I've been trying to call you. At least reply to my messages. Hello? Oops, my bad. Must have dozed off. Sorry, honey. I feel wonderfully refreshed now, though. What can I do for you? What can you do for us? You know damn well what you can do for us. Now isn't the time to be taking naps. We just got kicked out of our freaking house. Help! Diane, you seem a little tense. Is everything okay? Judging from the state of the frenzied panic you're in, I'm guessing it already started. Oh, wait. You know? You know what's happening at the house right now? Yep, more or less. Then how about you freaking do something about it? Some strange old guy showed up and told us to get out of the house. Who is he? Do you know him? Yep. Gary was so pissed off, he was about ready to challenge him to a fight right then and there on the doorstep. He's gone for the time being. The old guy didn't seem intimidated at all. He just laughed when Gary started moving closer to him to try and get him to back off. I didn't catch what he said properly over the sound of Gary flipping out at him, but I'm pretty sure he said something about coming back before he finally walked away. Oh, really? You're right, that doesn't sound like he was intimidated at all. Right? Then when he was getting into his car, he said something about us regretting this? I can't put my finger on what exactly it was, but there was something scary about his aura, like he might be involved in some bad things. One thing's for sure, he wasn't a law-abiding citizen. Take this as your first and final warning. I think it'd be wise to do exactly as that old man told you. Why? What's going to happen to us if we don't? Who the hell is he? You'll never be able to get away from him as long as you're staying there. I'm the only one that can live in that house. Huh? You and Gary seem to be making a major misunderstanding. That house didn't belong to my mom. What? Then who the hell does it belong to? The old guy who just showed up and gave you the fright of your lives. Wait, what? That guy owns the house? You've got to be kidding me. That guy is a highly accomplished businessman, philanthropist, and real estate magnate who rubs shoulders with some of the world's most influential people. He runs several companies across a range of industries, from IT to real estate, from industrial manufacturing to hospitality. He's even making waves in the donut industry. He was in Time magazine lately for his role of the expansion of the vegan hotel suites he introduced at one of his hotel chains. He owns land in over 30 states and has been photographed with every president since Bush Sr. Mom was just renting the house from him. He was technically her landlord. Well, I say renting, but he was actually letting her stay there for free. And me too. What? For free? How the hell did you manage to get him to let you guys stay in such an amazing house for free? You mean, why did my mom get special treatment? Because the two of them were married under common law. Married under common law? What does that mean? Common law marriage is for couples who want to live together and present themselves as a married couple without going through a marriage ceremony or getting tied up in any of the legal aspects. Anyway, the bottom line is that old man is well within his rights to give you and Gary your marching orders. You're living in his house without permission, Diane. I don't think I need to educate you on the legality of that. You don't need to be a genius to figure out he could take you to court if you carry on refusing to leave. As far as the law is concerned, you two are total strangers. Wait, what? You mean me and Gary could get arrested? I lived with him and Mom for a long time, and we're on really good terms. He said he was more than happy for me to carry on living there free of charge after Mom passed away. He was obviously never going to extend the same courtesy to the arrogant, selfish son-in-law who neglected his beloved wife, failing to visit her even as she lay dying in hospital. You're insane if you think he's going to let you get away with taking it upon yourself to move into his house out of the blue. If you have anything resembling an ounce of common sense between the two of you, you'll get out of there as soon as possible and pray he takes mercy on you for the trespassing committed thus far. But where are we supposed to go? That's neither mine nor his problem, Diane. Why don't you try putting yourself in his shoes for a moment? It's only natural he'd be furious with you for what you did. Plus, that's not all, is it? I heard all about the awful, disrespectful things you said to him. Something tells me there's a strong possibility he's focusing all of his efforts on clearing his house of its parasite infestation as we speak. I told you how influential he is, right? Money is no issue for him, and he's been through enough legal battles to know a thing or two about how the law works. He'll have you in court so fast you won't know what's hit you. What are you trying to say? That he's already talking to the police or his lawyer? No, we can't afford to go to court. We wouldn't even know the first thing about hiring a lawyer. I think things could be about to get very difficult for you if you don't take my brother and get out of that house immediately. I want to, believe me, but Gary's refusing to move. He says we're staying and that's final. Wow, I see he's just as much of a moron as usual then. Let me guess, he's being a stubborn blockhead and refusing to leave to protect his wounded pride because my stepdad flipped out at him? He must be seething. Knowing Gary, he's probably thinking of how he can take his revenge. But won't the police be showing up soon? Olivia, please, you have to help us. Won't you try and convince him to leave? I begged and I pleaded, but he won't hear a word of it. You're his sister, maybe he'll listen to you. The police? The old man's influence extends far beyond the police. After what Gary said to him, something tells me you're in for a lot worse than a police visit. What? Worse than a police visit? What's that supposed to mean? Tell me, please, you're scaring me. Oh, I am? Guess I can't say I feel guilty. To be honest, you guys have had this coming for a while now. I think it's about time you learned your lesson. Good luck, sweetie. Help us, please! Olivia, I'm begging you. You have to do something. We're in big trouble here. What's wrong? Has there been another development? The house is surrounded by scary-looking bald guys in leather jackets. They're big and muscly and have the meanest looks on their faces. Me and Gary are terrified. We closed all the curtains and turned the lights off to make them think we're not home. We can't even escape with them out there. I've never seen Gary this way before. He's curled up in the corner, rocking back and forth in the fetal position, whispering, "This is all just a dream," to himself in between outbursts of hysterical crying. He looks pathetic. Wow, I see. So they did end up going after all. I wasn't sure if he'd actually do it. What? Do you know these people? Who the hell are they? That old guy, is he like the leader of a gang or something? No, it's nothing like that. He's powerful and influential, but he's not involved in anything dangerous or illegal. And neither are the guys currently surrounding your house. Do you really want to know, Olivia? Okay, I'll tell you. They're all former professional boxers. I told you he runs several companies, right? Well, he has ties to the boxing industry going back decades and runs a couple of martial arts gyms locally. Wait, so basically these guys surrounding our house are a bunch of angry fighters? Bingo. Looks like he stopped by all of his gyms, picked up the boxing coaches, and brought them back to the house. With a short-tempered moron like my brother, a simple, easy-to-understand show of force is always going to be a lot more persuasive than a reasoned argument. What? But this is barbaric. This is no different to how the mafia operates. But is it really? All they're doing is surrounding your house. Go on, take a peep from behind the curtains if you dare. They're just standing there, right? It's not like they're causing any trouble. Besides, you're the ones illegally trespassing in their boss's house. If you want to know what a lawbreaker looks like, then why not start by looking in the mirror? This is outrageous! How do you think the neighbors are going to feel when they see this bunch of mean-looking bald dudes loitering down their street? There are kids around here. It's only a matter of time before someone feels frightened and calls the cops. The only ones who'll be in trouble then are him and his henchmen, so I suggest you make them stop right this instant. I wonder. You see, Diane, every single house in that neighborhood belongs to that old man. He operates a communal living scheme for young fighters who need a helping hand in life. He provides them with somewhere to live and covers all of their living expenses so they can train and focus on their fight careers full-time. There's not a single person in that neighborhood who'd call the cops on him. In fact, your neighbors are all buddies with the mean-looking henchman currently outside your house. He owns every single house in the neighborhood? Just how much money does this guy have? Looks like Mr. and Mrs. Sheep moved into Wolf Village without realizing it. Oopsie. It was nice knowing you both.
Please help us. You have to do something about this. You said you and your hotshot new daddy are friends, right? Then talk to him for us and get us out of this mess. He'll listen to you. I bet one word from you is all it'll take for him and his lackeys to go home. Please, I'm begging you.
Isn't there something you should say before you come asking me for favors? Did you forget what you and my brother did?
I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry I stole your house.
Is that all? That doesn't make me feel like forgiving you.
I'm so sorry for all the nasty, mean things I said about you. I'm so sorry for not going to your mom's funeral. We should have been there and we weren't. But you're well within your rights to hate us for that. But please try and find it in your heart to forgive us. We'll leave the house straight away, I swear. We'll never come back for as long as we live.
Will you pass on a message to my brother for me? If you ever, even so much as try, to come anywhere near me after this, you won't get off so lightly next time. He makes me sick. I'll be happy if I never see his face again. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a little brother anymore. He's as good as dead to me.
Okay, I just told him. He said sorry. He'll never come near you or the house again.
All right, I'll tell them.
Yes! Thank you so much, Olivia. I'll never forget this.
Oh, don't get the wrong idea, sweetie. I only mean I'll tell them to spare your lives.
Spare our lives? What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, I'll tell the old man he can do whatever he likes with you both as long as he spares your lives.
What? But why? We both apologized, didn't we?
Sure, you apologized to me, but he's angry with you for his own reasons. If you want the band of angry fighters outside your house to go away, then I suggest you go out and negotiate with the boss man yourselves.
But to negotiate with him, we'd have to leave the house.
Of course. Duh. Alrighty then. Time to dig deep for every last ounce of courage you've got and face the music. You can do this, Diana. I believe in you. Be brave.
No. I can't. I just can't. Please. Do you have any idea how scary these guys look? I can't go near them.
What alternative do you have? You gonna stay holed up in the house forever? Look, let me make it real simple for you. If you're not out of that house within the next hour, I won't forgive you either. Did the removal company arrive yet?
Not yet, but they won't be long.
I suggest you get on the phone immediately and call them off.
But what are we supposed to do with our things? We already got rid of the apartment. We don't have anywhere to put everything.
I'm not sure why you think that's my problem, sweetie. But I can assure you it most certainly is not. Figure it out yourselves. I'm sure they'll keep a hold of it all for an extra day if you toss a little money their way.
We don't have any left. Look, Olivia, to tell you the truth, me and Gary have been unemployed for a while. I quit my job when he got promoted a while back, but he got fired one day after throwing a cheese grater at his boss in the office cafeteria. We'd been struggling to pay the rent on the apartment for a while. That's why we decided to move here. We had no choice. We used the last remnants of our savings on the removal van.
Wow, you two really are beyond saving. Unfortunately for you, I couldn't care less whether you're in dire straits. If you leave even so much as a single one of your belongings outside this house, there will be hell to pay.
Olivia, please! This is going too far. How could you be so heartless? Do you want me and your brother to be homeless, do you? Because we'll have no choice but to live on the streets if we do what you're asking us to. You're about to destroy a young couple's future with your selfish demands. Is that really something you want on your conscience?
What's this all of a sudden? The distant cries of a bitter loser? Homeless is fine by me. Hurry up and get out of my house. After that, my brother and his wife escaped the house in a hurry, under the stony gaze of the group of brawny men gathered outside. They told me they had no money left after canceling the contract on their apartment, so I have no idea what became of them after that, and to be honest with you, I don't care one bit. Their fates will forever remain a mystery. With that, I moved back into my house and resumed my life as normal. Of course, appearances can be deceiving, and while I know that all of my boxer neighbors are kind, friendly, warm-hearted people, I can easily see how the neighborhood being full of mean-looking guys and black cars with tinted windows could scare off anyone who didn't know. Which means that any shady characters or would-be criminals don't have the guts to come near the place. And as a result, we never get any troublemakers, and it's an amazingly peaceful place to live. Anyway, I mentioned what lovely people my boxer neighbors are, right? Well, it just so happens that I married one of them, a pro fighter, even years after the events of today's episode. Eventually, we moved out of that house and got a place of our own out in the country. Even still, we stayed in touch with my mom's husband and ex-landlord, who'd done so much for us both over the years, and we're still in contact to this day. With both my parents gone, he agreed to walk me down the aisle as my dad on our wedding day. It was the happiest day of my life, and I just know my parents were looking down on us, smiling. I'll be eternally grateful to my mom for bringing such an amazing, compassionate human being into my life.
Hey Chloe, how's my favorite granddaughter doing today? Did you finish up putting away all your stuff yet?
Hey, Grandma. I'm doing great. Nope, there are still cardboard boxes all over the house.
I see. A little way to go yet then. How are your mom and dad doing?
They're doing good, but Dad said his back hurts.
Oh, that's a shame.
He said he strained it while we were moving houses.
I see. He's not as young as he used to be. I'm sure he'll be as right as rain after some rest. How's life in New York? You already started at your new school, right?
Yup, I sure did. I love it here. I already made a bunch of new friends.
I'm so pleased to hear that, sweetie.
My new school's amazing. It has over 3 times as many students as my last one.
Wow, 3 times? I guess that's city life for you. There, then up here in Alaska.
But wow, Grandma, the weather here is way different to what I'm used to. I thought winter was supposed to be cold. Mom said it's 7 degrees today. It feels so weird not wearing a huge thick coat in December.
7 degrees isn't what most people would consider warm. But I guess it is compared to what you're used to. You're lucky. I'm here, shoveling snow off the driveway. I can barely see my car anymore.
Is it snowing there now?
Like you wouldn't believe. I've never seen a blizzard like this. It said record snowfall this year on the news. Things aren't easy for us over here right now. I'm pleased you escaped to New York before it hit us.
I still want to come back home to Alaska sometimes though, Grandma. I want to see my friends from my old school again too. It gets really, really hot in New York in the summer, right? I'm not good with heat.
At least a lot hotter than what you're used to in Alaska, that's for sure. It does warm up slightly here for a time in the summer, but it's over before you know it.
Wait, do you mean it never cools down here? That's not good.
Don't worry, darling. I think it gets colder than 7 degrees. You probably just need some time to adjust to the new climate. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in New York. I hope you enjoy your new life in the big city.
Yeah, New York's amazing. Everyone's super fashionable. There's some girls in my class who looks like models. Apparently, there are even some girls at the school who are actually models for real.
Wow, even the kids are fashionable over there? Who knows, maybe you'll get scouted walking around the city.
Plus, all my friends' moms are so beautiful. A lot of them said they live in apartments, but the apartment buildings here are huge. I've never seen anything like it. Apparently, they're called high-rise apartments.
Wow, you're lucky getting to see those. I've only ever seen them on TV.
Doesn't Alaska have any?
It's not that we don't have any, but nowhere near as many as New York. Besides, They're probably only in the cities. And your grandma's always been a small town girl who doesn't get out much.
I feel like everyone I see around town is fashionable. It's like I'm in a different country. Mom said she had to revamp her wardrobe because she was worried she stand out too much. She went out to buy some new clothes earlier. She says she'd feel awkward coming to my parents' evenings in her old clothes surrounded by all those gorgeous moms, haha.
It sounds like your mom is already turning into a city girl. She's gorgeous enough already, though. I'm almost scared to imagine how stunning she'll be after her makeover. The boys will be fighting over her.
I bet Dad will really like it too.
You bet. It sounds like you're all adjusting to your new life just swimmingly. I'm pleased to hear it. You might find things tough at first, but there's nothing you can't overcome if the three of you work together as a family. Make sure you help your mom and dad out if they ever seem like they're struggling, okay?
I sure will. You should come see us here in New York sometimes, Grandma. I want to show you our new house.
I think I might just take you up on that offer sometime, sweetie. When I do, I want you to introduce me to all your new friends. Send my love to your mom and dad for me.
Okay. Bye, Grandma.
Chloe, are you still awake, darling?
Yes, I'm awake.
Sorry to message you at this time. Were you getting ready for bed?
Nope, I was reading my magazines. It's only 8 p.m.
I just thought I'd message to see how you're doing, sweetie. You haven't been in touch much lately, and I was starting to worry about you. Have you been busy?
Not really.
Oh, I see. How's school? Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah, it's fun.
I heard it snowed a bit in New York this last week. I saw it on the news. Apparently, there was so much snowfall the trains even got cancelled. It looks like people are having a really tough time of it.
Sure, it did snow where we are, but it melted straight away. The snow here is nothing like in Alaska. I don't see what all the fuss is about. I don't think they could cope if it snowed here like it does back home. Are you doing okay, Grandma?
Yep, I'm fine. Thanks, sweetie, just like always.
How are things in Alaska?
Oh, you know, the usual. Cold and snowy.
I guess that's just how things is up there.
Right. It wouldn't be Alaska without the snow. Are you used to life in the Big Apple yet? How are your mom and dad doing these days?
They both seem super busy.
Really? Busier than they were here in Alaska?
They're hardly ever at home.
You mean they leave you in charge of watching the house all by your own? That's amazing, dear. They clearly have a lot of trust in you.
Yeah, sometimes I watch the house. Sometimes go to daycare. But I like watching the house more. It's easy peasy. I'm going to middle school next year.
I know. Isn't it amazing? It still surprises me every time I think about it. When did you grow up so fast? I don't know where all the time went. I tell you what, I'll send you a congratulations present in the spring. Let me know if there's anything you want.
Okay, will do. Let me think about it for a while.
Will you be joining any after-school clubs when you go up to the middle school? Are there any sports or activities you'd like to do?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know?
Nope.
Chloe, is everything okay?
What do you mean?
You don't seem yourself. You're usually so much more talkative. Are you sleepy? Sorry if I'm keeping you up, sweetie.
Nope, I'm not sleepy at all. Grandma, won't you come and see me?
In New York?
Yes. I want you to come and play with me. Could you come for a week or two? Maybe even longer if you can.
Aw, are you missing me, dear?
Duh, I didn't get to see you at New Year's. I wanted to come home to Alaska to celebrate.
I know that, sweetie, but your mom caught that terrible cold and we had to cancel. I know it's a shame you couldn't make it back, but there was nothing that could be done. It's not like you and your dad could come and leave your poor mom all on her own poorly in bed.
Grandma, there's something I need to tell you.
What?
Hey, Cordelia. Long time no speak. It's Daphne.
Oh, hello, Daphne. Long time indeed. It's great to hear from you. How have you been?
I'm good, thanks.
Where did Chloe go?
Oh, don't mind her. She fell asleep when she was messaging you. She was really tired.
I knew it. She was ready for bed after all.
She had her piano lessons today, so I think she was worn out from focusing so hard. You know how passionate she is about her music.
Oh, she's taking piano lessons?
Yep, not just piano, but she's taking swimming, ballet, and Japanese classes too.
Wow, someone's a busy girl. Surely she must have classes every day if she's learning that many things at once.
5 times a week.
Wow, that's almost every day. Isn't that a bit much?
Not really. All the kids here in New York are taking tons of classes. The mindset towards parenting is different here.
City life sounds tough. Things must be harder for you financially now too, right? I read an article the other day about how New York has the highest cost of living in the US.
Sure, but that's why me and Dan both work. We want to give Chloe the best education possible, and that's not just limited to school. There's so many amazing private teachers here, it'd be a shame not to make use of them.
New York and Alaska really couldn't be more different.
Right, it's a completely different world down here. I got a huge culture shock myself when we first moved. I know I shouldn't have been that surprised because I grew up seeing it all on TV all the time. But it felt like I saw something new that blew my mind every day.
Even for New York, you live in one of those more built-up areas, right? You're the king and queen of the city slickers.
I guess you really could say that. We're so used to life over here now, it'd probably feel weird if we came back home. We blend right in. Anyone would think we were born and bred New Yorkers.
Hopefully I can come and see you all soon. It's been so long. Chloe told me she wants me to come and stay with you. But it's such a long way, and I'm not as mobile as I used to be.
Right, it takes you a few hours just to get to the airport.
Yeah, I'm really in the middle of nowhere out here.
Sorry about New Year's, but I wasn't even capable of getting out of bed, let alone traveling in the state. We'll make sure we definitely make it home for the next one.
That's fine, dear. It wasn't your fault. I can't wait to see you all again. Send my love to Dan, won't you? You wouldn't think he was my own son with how little he messages me.
It's nothing personal. He's just really busy with work these days. I'll tell him you said hi.
Chloe, what's wrong? What was that message asking for help all about? Is something wrong?
Grandma, help! Dad collapsed! What do I do?
He collapsed? What happened? Hold on, I'll call you.
Don't. I can't talk right now. I'm using my phone in secret. Mom will find out if she hears me speaking.
In secret? What on earth? Why would you have to use your phone in secret?
'Cause Mom confiscates it. She said it was a punishment for my test grades being lower than last time, even though I only went down 2 points.
Wow, there's so much I want to ask you, but I don't even know where to begin. Could you start by telling me what happened with your dad again? Why did he collapse?
Collapsed 'cause he works too much. He was overdoing it and his body couldn't keep up. If he doesn't stop, he's gonna end up seriously ill.
Is he really in such a bad shape?
I think he'll be okay if he stays in the hospital for a little while, but he'll collapse again if he doesn't start resting more when he gets out. Who will say he'll survive next time?
Isn't that a little dramatic, dear? Surely he'll be okay if you just take it easy for a while. I'm sure all he needs is some time off work to recuperate.
He can't take time off work because of Mom.
Because of your mom? What do you mean?
It's Mom's fault Dad has to work so much. If she didn't go out and waste all of our money, this wouldn't be happening.
Wait, what? Really? Your mom's wasteful with money? Since when?
It's like she became a different person when we got to New York. I barely recognize her anymore. Not only does she look totally different with all that bright, flashy clothes and makeup she wears now, but her personality changed too. That's not all either. She started forcing me to take all these stupid classes that I don't want to take.
Yes, your mom told me about all the classes. I did think it sounded like a bit much. You mean you don't like them?
No, I hate them. I never get any time to myself now. Every single day, as soon as I get home from school, I either have to go to class or study for what I have coming up. I don't get to hang out with any of my new friends from school. I don't even get to do things I like in my own bedroom because she forces me to study so much.
Wow, I see.
But even though I have to study all the time, all Mom does is go out and get drunk with her friends. The house is a dump because she leaves her new brand clothes and accessories lying around all over the place. She hardly ever cooks, and she does nothing around the house.
So, how are you eating? If she doesn't cook for you and your dad's always at work, how do you eat?
I get things from the store or order takeout. I can't take it anymore, Grandma. My life here is horrible. I want to come home to Alaska. I hate my mom.
Wow, but Chloe, I haven't had any messages from your mother about your dad collapsing. What on earth is going on there? This is all so strange, forgive me. It's not that I don't believe you, it's just a lot to take in all at once is all.
That's probably because she's avoiding you.
Huh? Why would she do that?
I don't think she likes you, Grandma. She always makes fun of you for being a country bumpkin. Not only that, but she says all these mean things about Alaska as being backwards and never shuts up about how much better New Yorkers are than everyone else. It makes no sense. She was born in Alaska and she lived there her whole life until last year. She said she moved up in the world and doesn't want to associate with country bumpkins anymore.
Goodness, Mia, I see. Sweetie, about your dad collapsing. Has he really been working that much?
Yeah, he has. Mom's always out spending his money. So if he didn't work more, we wouldn't be able to pay the bills. He works his normal job in the day and works part-time on nights at a warehouse where he gets off.
He works day and night?
I don't even know if he sleeps anymore. I barely recognize him. He looks like a skeleton now. But even though it's obvious he's sick, Mom won't stop with her out-of-control spending.
I see. I think I've got a good idea what's going on here. Thank you for telling me, Chloe. I'm very proud of you.
Grandma, will you come help me, please?
Of course I will, dear. I could hardly hang my beloved granddaughter and son out to dry now, could I? Daffy, you are to divorce my son at once.
Huh? What are you talking about? That's the last message I was expecting to get today.
I can't let him stay with you for a moment longer. He's lost so much weight since moving to New York with you that I barely recognize him. You're subjecting him to a life of stress and misery, and it's not going to continue.
Cordelia, please. I have, no idea what you're talking about. Would you mind explaining?
Daffy, you can drop the act now. I'm here in New York. I know exactly what kind of life you've been living since you moved here. You don't have any money left, do you?
Huh? Why would you be in New York?
I came because Chloe sent me an SOS.
No way, she can't have. That's impossible.
How can you be so sure? Could it be because you confiscated her phone?
Wait, how do you know about that?
Because she found where you stashed it and messaged me in secret. I got on the first flight available this morning, and now I'm by my son's bedside at the hospital. He told me everything.
But still, why would you be talking about divorce?
Because you've been living well above your means since arriving in New York, haven't you, dear? You waste my son's money on branded clothing and bags and perfumes. You take your trendy new friends out to fancy restaurants and treat them to whatever they want. I can only assume to try and make them think you're rich. You spend entire days at the beauty salon. I could go on, but the worst thing is that you do it all on Dan's money.
I only go out to fancy restaurants because my friends invite me.
And they force you to loot the entire bill too, do they? Please, Daffy, be real with me. Your lifestyle and spending habits have gotten so out of control that my son collapsed trying to fund it all. It saddens me that he's lying here in the hospital bed and you still seem incapable of telling the truth. I heard all about how strict you've been with Chloe too, forcing her to go to all those classes she has no interest in and leaving her with no time to herself. What on earth has gotten into you? Do you really think it's acceptable to treat your family like this? They're both suffering while you're out pretending to be some kind of celebrity.
No, you're wrong. The only reason I've been hard on Chloe lately is because she needs to learn some discipline.
This goes beyond discipline. You're subjecting your own family to a life of misery just to satisfy your own overinflated ego. It's like you turned into a different person as soon as you got to New York. Has the big city corrupted you?
I'm doing my best to fit into city life. That's all. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the greater good. Do you have any idea how different the culture is here? If we didn't make an effort to blend in, we'd stick out like sore thumbs. Me and Dan wouldn't make any friends and Chloe would get bullied at school. Stop trying to paint me as some sort of villain. I'm just living like my new friends do.
Your friends have a lot more money than you, Daphne. You can't afford that kind of lifestyle on your salaries, especially if you're not working anymore. Putting your husband in hospital to keep up this ridiculous facade is going to leave the both of you left with nothing. Stop trying to make your new friends think you're something you're not and face reality.
Shut up, you dumb country bumpkin. You know how things are here. You wouldn't know the first thing about what life in New York is like. How could you? You lived in the middle of nowhere your whole life. Have you ever been to a city? Us city folks have our own way of living.
You can stay here and enjoy your glamorous new life on your own. Dan says he's taking Chloe and going back to Alaska.
What? Why would he want to live in the middle of nowhere? But
because they're sick and tired and they want to go home. They're both at breaking point and something's got to give.
But of course they're gonna find it stressful. We've only been here a year. These are just growing pains. That's all. If they can just tough it out a bit longer, they'll be used to it before they know it. And before long, they'll love New York so much they'll wonder what they were even fretting over.
It's not New York that they're sick and tired of. It's you. Chloe is so disappointed in you.
No, that's crazy talk. There's no way my own husband and daughter would want to move away from me. We're a family. We built a happy life of ourselves here. Who in their right minds would want to throw all that away to live in some snowy wasteland?
That might be how things seem to you, but they're in the delusion fantasy land you've built in your head. But Dan and Chloe live in the real world, and things aren't so rosy down here. My poor son broke down in tears and told me everything. He said he couldn't take living with you anymore. I've never seen him like that before, you know. You really did a number on him. He must have been at his physical and emotional limit. He's dead set on taking Chloe back to Alaska.
Oh God. Oh my God, this can't be happening. Why?
because you're out of control and you don't listen to a word he says. How many times has he told you to rein on your spending? How many times has he told you you can't afford the lifestyle you're living? But it's always in one ear and straight out of the other. God forbid he should dare to question your authority, because the moment he does, you turn into a hysterical, shrieking lunatic and yell at him so loud you get complaints from the neighbors. Even ignoring the financial problems, he said being with you alone is enough to give him a nervous breakdown. You're making all this up, aren't you? I wish I was, dear, but I think you'll know soon enough that it's all true. You'll be signing the divorce paper when Dan gets out of the hospital. No, you can't take my family back to the middle of nowhere. They'll never be happy up there. You were born and raised in the countryside yourself, Daphne, or did you forget? If you're so enamored with your new life in the city, then please, by all means, stay here forever. But I haven't done anything wrong. Why do I feel like you're all ganging up on me? It's like I'm being punished. All I did was try to fit in with city life. Fit in? No. You were trying to make people think you were something you were not by living a life far beyond your means. Wherever you live, city or otherwise, it's important to leave a lifestyle you can actually sustain without destroying your family and going bankrupt. Arg, you just don't get it. You're just a dumb, ignorant, uneducated country bumpkin with no idea about the world or how it works. It's Chloe! Stop being mean to Grandma. I'm going home to Alaska with Dad. I hate you, Mom. You're on your own now, so you can do whatever you want. Me and Dad are done with you, so leave us alone. Goodbye! You heard her. She said you're no longer her mother and she never wants to see you again. All I did was try my best to fit in New York. Why are you all abandoning me? No one needed you to do that. You were fine as you were. If any of your new friends would have thought badly of you being from Alaska, they were never your friends to be in the first place. You were living a lie to try and please a bunch of strangers while making your own family suffer. Is it really so hard to believe Dan and Chloe feel that they have no choice but to break things off with you after what you put them through? Sure, you can make yourself sparkle by dressing up in fancy clothes and branded accessories, but what's the point if you're rotten on the inside? My son took Chloe back to Alaska, and his divorce with Daphne was finalized long not after. The two of them moved in with me, where they're currently living while recovering from the shock of what his ex-wife put them through. They're both back to their old, bright, cheerful selves now. It just goes to show the power of removing toxic people from your life. Both Dan and Chloe said that they're glad they came home, and I couldn't agree more. Daphne, on the other hand, is so stubborn that she resolved to stay in New York on her own despite not being able to afford it, but predictably unable to keep up with the extremely high rent and whooping utility bills. She had no choice but to move back to her parents' place here in Alaska. I wonder if that gave her the wake-up call she needed. I have a feeling it might have, because after she came back, my friend who lives in her parents' neighborhood told me she looked just like the plain, homely Daphne she used to know when she saw her out grocery shopping. Even still, she'll never get her family back. There are some things that can never be forgiven or forgotten. For better or worse, our environments change us. There's nothing wrong with change in and of itself, but there's no guarantee that the people in our lives will react to change in the same way we do. And in extreme cases, we have to make the difficult decision to go our separate ways.
Is now a good time to talk? I was hoping we could, have a little word about something.
What do you want? To be honest with you, I get a bad feeling every time you message me, Hunter.
Wow, how could you say such a thing? That cuts me deep, Mom. Anyone would think you'd be overjoyed to get a message from your only son.
I said it precisely because I'm not overjoyed, and with good reason. Anyway, what did you want?
I'm sorry to trouble you like this, but can I have $500? I tried my best to get a hold of it by other means, but nothing panned out. Think of it as pocket money? Pretty please? I'm in a really tough spot this month, and I desperately need someone to bust me out of it.
I just gave you some last week. Do you think I'm made of money? Please stop doing this. I'm at my wit's end here. You're a grown man, for Pete's sake. I made it very clear that last week was the last time I'd be giving you anything. I can't believe you're asking me again.
I know that, Mom, but when I say I'm in a tough spot, I mean a really tough spot. Like, might not be able to carry on paying the bills tough. I live in the city. Things cost money here, you know? Surely you've seen the news about how much rent and food prices are going up. Things aren't as cheap as they were for you back in the day. I know you gave me money last week, but to be totally honest with you, Mom, it just wasn't enough.
If things are so difficult for you, you know you're always welcome to come home and live with me. Let's be realistic. There's no guarantee you'll even carry on with your current job.
Why even say things like that? God damn it, Mom. You never have any faith in me. I like this company. Things feel different here. I really think this could be the one that I go the distance with. So there's no way I'm quitting this time.
I wonder. I'd love to believe that, but you've switched jobs more times than I can count now.
I told you I'm not quitting this time. Jeez, Mom. I wish you'd have my back sometimes. Besides, I don't want to live in the countryside again. There's nothing to do here. I'm bored out of my skull whenever I come to see you. The thought of living there makes me want to neck myself. Plus, you know Ingrid said she didn't want to live out in the sticks. She's a city girl, always has been, always will be.
You've been married for a whole 3 years now. Don't you think it's time you stopped pestering your aged mother for money? Why not ask Ingrid to start working part-time if you two are struggling so much financially? Surely that should take the burden off.
Yeah, that's not going to be as easy as you make it sound. I told her she'd never have to work when we got married.
But that was when things were better, wasn't it? What else can you do when reality comes knocking at the door like this? Can you really get by without her contributing anything? I've given in to your pestering for far too long already. If you think you can carry on relying on me to fix all of your money worries, you've got another thing coming. You're not a teenager anymore, Hunter. Do you think I don't have outgoings of my own? I have bills to pay and food to buy, not to mention my retirement planning. I'm no spring chicken anymore. You two are in your prime. Isn't there anything you can do to ease the pressure yourselves? I can't afford to waste any more of my money.
Waste? It's not a waste at all. I can't think of a better use for it. I'm your son. What's money for if not helping out family in times of trouble?
I take it that means you'll be looking after me when I'm too old to do it myself?
Well, I'm not sure about that actually. Ingrid didn't seem too open to the idea of us moving in with you when I asked her. Sorry, Mom, but I don't think that's going to be possible. It's not that I don't want to, though. I do, really, but you know how stubborn and willful she is.
Yes, I'm quite aware of how it's nothing but take when it comes to you two. You're going to have to fix your own problems.
Mom, please. You're the only person I can rely on. God, none of this would be happening if Dad was still around. He'd have my back.
If your dad was still around, he'd be coming down on you like a ton of bricks for begging your parents for money despite being a fully grown man. Don't be so naive. I'm a damn sight softer on you than he would be.
But don't you still have some of his inheritance money left?
He died when you were in elementary school, Hunter. His inheritance money disappeared eons ago on raising you and sending you to college. That didn't stop you spending a gap year doing absolutely nothing in your bedroom surrounded by empty cans of beer and Cheeto packets, though, did it? The chance of any money that goes to you being wasted is too high for me to justify doing it anymore. I'm sorry, but it ends now.
Jesus, Mom. Are you really preaching at me over ancient history now? What's gotten into you today? Give me a break. I don't know what it's going to take to satisfy your absurd expectations. It seems like nothing I do will ever satisfy you. I graduated college and got married. What more do you want? Isn't this what society wants of me?
Which means you should be all the more capable of paying your own way in life. You're not a baby anymore, Hunter. You're almost 30. You flew the nest ages ago, and I'm done paying the consequences for your irresponsible spending habits. If you don't want Ingrid to work, figure out a way to get through this on your own. Stand on your own 2 feet for a change.
Please, Mom, will you just stop? You know you don't really mean any of this. Just help me out, for crying out loud. I'm your son, damn it. You're flesh and blood. I swear on Dad's memory, this is the last time I'll ever ask you for money.
How many times have I heard that now? You haven't even shown your face around here since you got married 3 years ago. You've got some nerve to come begging me for money. I bet if not for me being a convenient little piggy bank for you to raid in emergencies, you'd never speak to me.
I've got a lot of stuff going on, Mom. It's nothing personal.
I'm not giving you any more money, and that's final. You and Ingrid have plenty of options as for how you proceed from here. Until I can at least see you're making an effort by yourselves, I'm not giving you another cent of my money.
Wow. Fine. Forget it. I see how it is. Screw you then. You're the most useless mom there ever was.
Hunter, what's going on? I just got a message from Ingrid. Would you mind explaining to me what on earth is going on here?
Huh? What are you talking about? What message?
She told me to stop bullying her.
Oh, I think this might be about the part-time job thing.
How exactly am I bullying your wife? Go on. I'm waiting. This should be good.
You're the one that said all that stuff about her, Mom. You know, that the reason we have no money is because Ingrid refuses to get a part-time job?
You know full well that's not what I said. Why are you misleading her? Is this intentional? Did you want her to get mad at me? I almost spat my coffee out when she accused me of bullying her. I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life.
If she feels like she's being bullied, then she's being bullied. And it's as simple as that. You're the aggressor. You don't get to decide.
All I said was there are things you two should be doing your own before coming and pestering me for money. At no point did I blame her for anything. Being married is about working together as a team to overcome life's challenges. If your salary isn't enough to get by on, then would Ingrid picking up a part-time job to supplement the finances a little really be the worst thing in the world? That's all I was suggesting. I hardly see how it constitutes bullying. Am I just supposed to keep quiet and let you keep walking the path to financial ruin?
Maybe it felt like a suggestion to you, but do you not see how Ingrid could interpret that as you blaming her for all of our financial problems? Keep your suggestions to yourself.
Something tells me it had more to do with the way you told her. Make sure you tell her I wasn't trying to blame her for anything. This is all one big silly misunderstanding. I tried explaining myself, but she was so high on righteous indignation, I don't think she even bothered to stop and think about what I was saying.
If you weren't blaming her, then send us some money. If you really cared about her feelings, that's what you do. She'd feel a whole lot better with some financial aid by way of apology.
Apology? Make no mistake, Hunter, I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm just telling you to clear up the misunderstanding you've caused by painting me as some kind of aggressor to your wife.
She asked you herself too, right? If you'd help out by tossing a little of the green stuff our way.
Yes, she did. That's not all she said either. She said I spoiled you and failed to teach you how to have any sense with money.
There you go. That just proves it. This is all your fault.
This is not a laughing matter. Do not blame your abominable decision-making skills on my parenting, boy. Let me make one thing crystal clear. If she's unhappy with you, she needs to remember that she's the one who chose to marry you, and that she knew full well what an irresponsible buffoon you are with money when she let you put that ring on her finger. I'd be lying if I said I didn't sympathize with her, but it was ultimately her decision, and now she has to pay the price. No means no, and that's the end of it.
But Ingrid's parents already said that they don't want anything else to do with us.
No way. Were you pestering her parents for money too? Have you no shame? It's
Bad enough that you do it with me, but I can't believe you do that with someone else's mom and dad.
Geez, Mom, it wasn't me. Ingrid asked them.
What's the difference? How embarrassing. I'm begging you, Hunter, please start living like a responsible human being and fix your problems yourself. If you're struggling to get by, how about I ask your Uncle Jeff if he'll let you help out on his farm to supplement the finances? He'll let you live at his place for dirt cheap and provide all of your meals. As long as you work hard, you'll never want for anything.
I already told you I don't want to live in the countryside. It's boring. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I was thinking of heading home for a little while. I have a few days off coming up soon.
Really? I'd like that. It'd be nice if we could visit your father's grave together. I haven't seen you in 3 years. You could bring Ingrid along, too. I'd like to hear about why exactly it is that you've been having so much financial trouble. I still haven't heard anything in the way of a reason.
Huh? And why do you have to?
I don't have to, and it's not like I'm forcing you to tell me anything, but if you're serious about wanting my help, then I need to know what exactly it is I'm giving you money for. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to give you some advice? I got through a pinch or two myself back in the day, you know.
Fine, whatever. I'll speak with Ingrid about it.
Okay, let me know when you've decided whether you're coming or not. I'll have a banquet full of all yours and Ingrid's favorite foods ready when you arrive. Hunter, what in heaven's name is going on?
Oh no. Did I get busted?
Busted? Do you think this is a joke? You used my credit card without my permission, didn't you?
Sorry, Mom, but there was a little something I really wanted.
A little something? You must be joking. I saw the transaction history. You bought a bunch of branded clothes and accessories, expensive aftershaves, and got a tattoo? And the 5-frickin' star hotel you booked, what was that all about? Do you have any idea how many thousands of dollars of my money you've wasted on your spending spree?
Chrissy and Dave invited us out on vacation to Hawaii with them. The problem was that we didn't have any money of our own, but we thought it'd be rude to say no, so if you think about it logically, we didn't have a choice.
Having no money and being invited on holiday by your friends means you have to steal money from your mother's credit card behind her back? I'm not sure I see the logic. The card's still here, so I can only assume you must have taken it out of my purse and taken a picture of my details while you were staying with me. So you could go on a spending spree when you got home.
Sorry, Mom, but we really are struggling. I'm serious about that. Like, really struggling. You wouldn't help us out no matter how much we begged you. What else were we supposed to do? I honestly didn't see any other way to fix the shit show that is now my life.
That's why you came to stay with me, isn't it? You were after my money all along. As soon as you went home, almost $1,500 suddenly appeared from my account.
Huh? You noticed?
Of course I noticed.
Wait, what? So, why didn't you say anything?
I looked the other way because I assumed you really must be at rock bottom if you were resorting to stealing from your own mother. I decided I'd let it slide one last time out of sympathy for you. But that was before I saw what you spent it on. This ends now.
Jeez, Mom, I said I'm sorry. I'll give back everything I took one day, I promise. Will you just take a chill pill? Have a cup of coffee and take some deep breaths or something. This is ridiculous.
You won't pay it back one day. You'll pay it back right now.
I seriously can't do that. Surely you know I can't. If you knew how bad things were, you wouldn't be asking that of me.
If you have a job, you can take out a loan. I don't care if you have to go into debt. I want back every last cent of the money you've stolen from me. Do you even have any idea how much you've spent over these past 2 months? Or were you just spending indiscriminately without any regard for how much it might cost me and the damage it might do? Go on, take a guess.
About 3,000 maybe?
6,000.
Holy Jesus balls, that much?
You don't get to be shocked, Hunter. You're the one who spent it.
No, you're wrong. This has to be Ingrid's doing. I told her to be careful, but she wouldn't listen. Whenever she saw something she wanted, she'd buy it right then and there, and there was nothing I could do to stop her.
I don't care. All I care about is what you are going to do to make this right. Are you going to pay up or not? I want an answer now.
Mom, I can't.
I see. Then I never want to see or hear from you again. We're done. You are no longer my son.
What? You're cutting me out of your life?
Exactly. I'll think of the $6,000 as a fee for getting rid of you.
I get it, Mom. It was wrong of me to use your credit card without your permission like that. But do you really have to be this mad? Worse things have happened. It's not like we did it for no reason. We fell on hard times. You have money to spare, so we figured it wouldn't be a huge deal if we helped ourselves with some of it.
I'm angry with you precisely because I do not have money to spare. You presumptuous, arrogant, selfish little cretin. Does your ignorance know no bounds?
Holy crap, Mom, don't call me stuff like that. Chill already. Answer me this. You're getting by just fine, aren't you? What's the big deal?
Whether I'm struggling or not isn't the point. You and Ingrid could also be getting along just fine if you stopped being so wasteful by spending your money on frivolous junk. Not ordering takeout every night would be a big boost to the finances, too. While you're at it, how about you don't impulsively buy everything you take a fancy to and actually start budgeting for the first time in your life? If you weren't spending like such stupendous morons, you wouldn't be in the red every month and you wouldn't be stealing from your mother.
You say we spend like stupendous morons, but I don't see anything wrong with us treating ourselves to nice things every now and then. It's not like I don't work hard. What's the point even being alive in the first place if we gotta spend our whole lives tolerating the unhappiness of not being able to enjoy the things we like? That's a sucker's life if you ask me.
It's not that I disagree. It's just that I'm telling you to do it with your own damn money.
Are you sure you really want to cut ties with me and Ingrid? Something tells me it might not be in your best interest. Dad's not around to provide for you anymore, and you're in touch with maybe 3 of our relatives at best. I'm pretty much the only real family you have left. Your one and only son.
You may be my one and only son, but if having you in my life means having my retirement fund stolen behind my back, then I think I'll take my chances on my own. But if you really want to talk about my best interests, would you mind telling me what exactly I gain by having you in my life? Is there even a single benefit of having you around? You didn't even come and visit me in hospital when I had my accident last year. Steve from across the street feels like more of a son to me than you do. He visited me once a week to see how I was doing and deliver things I needed during my hospital stay.
Maybe so, but he isn't your son, is he? He's pretty much a stranger.
Exactly my point. Which means you're such a waste of space that I'd rather have a stranger in my life than you.
Wow. Just wow. I guess you really do want to live in isolation then. Have it your way, Mom. Don't come crawling back to me when you can't take it anymore.
Yep, I'll be going at it alone from now on. Make sure you don't cause trouble for anyone else like you did for me. That's my final wish to you as your mother before we become strangers.
Don't make me laugh. You lost the right to call yourself my mom when you refused to help me in my hour of need. I'll never be there for you when you need me. You better not come begging, because it'll be an instant no. You better make damn sure you leave me some money behind to enjoy a nice holiday with when you kick the bucket. You good-for-nothing old hag. Never speak to me again. Hey, what's going on? Where are you?
Excuse me?
Mom, there are strangers in your house.
Huh?
Did you read my message? I came to visit you, but there was some couple I don't recognize living in your house. Who are they? I knocked and asked for you, but they said you're not here right now. What's going on? If there are strangers living here, guess you must have moved?
Strangers? Oh, don't be so silly. Those aren't strangers, that's my son and his wife. What are you talking about?
Huh? Your son? But I'm your son.
Wrong, I only have one son.
Don't even joke about things like that. I'm your only son. I'm an only child.
I thought I'd made it clear that you were no longer my son.
Did you forget that I broke off all ties with you a few years ago?
I didn't forget. But that's ancient history now. Can't we just let bygones be bygones? You know, Mom, I've been doing an awful lot of self-reflection. I finally started acting my age.
I'm pleased to hear that. What a relief. All right, so I take it that was all? Goodbye.
Mom, wait! Who are that couple? Will you just tell me already?
They moved in a couple of years ago. Remember before when I told you about Steve, my neighbor who came to visit me in hospital when I had my accident? He got married.
But why are they living in your house?
Because I gave it to them.
What? The house?
Yep. Living on your own in the countryside isn't easy when you get old, and that place just wasn't suitable for me anymore.
Why didn't you tell me? What were you thinking? Are you insane? I thought I was getting the family home. It was supposed to be mine.
Why would you inherit a house you never even visited? Didn't you say you were done with me?
Well, sure, I did, but...
Let me guess, were you thinking of selling it? I hope you didn't get your hopes up, dear. It was older than the dinosaurs and in serious need of repairs. You'd have gotten maybe $8,000 at best.
But $8K is a lot of money.
Oh, look, so it was the money. I knew it.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I came home because I was worried sick about you.
Well, you can relax, because I'm living in an apartment complex for the elderly now. I'm living the good life without a care in the world.
Where?
There's absolutely no chance of me telling you that I can't risk you showing up pestering me for money again. I've had enough of you for 10 lifetimes.
Mom, please. Why do you have to be so cruel? I'd never do anything like that. Just tell me, please. You know how they say you don't know what you've got until it's gone? Well, I finally realized how grateful I was to have you in my life while we weren't talking these last few years. That's why I want to see you. Please, Mom, I want to see you again.
How are things going with Ingrid?
Where did that come from? I guess they're going pretty good.
And the debt?
Huh?
You're in debt, right?
No. What are you talking about?
That's strange. I got a phone call a few months back saying my son was in debt. You're borrowing from people you shouldn't be borrowing from, aren't you? I told them that I don't have a son, and that if they dared call me again, I'd call the cops immediately. They stopped after that, and I haven't heard from them since. I almost spat my Earl Grey tea out when they told me how much you owed. That's not the kind of money you can repay in a few years, let alone a few months. Well, how is the debt situation?
Well, I still can't afford to pay it off.
I knew it, so that's why you tried to come back crying to me.
Mom, I'm so sorry. I was doing my best to pay it off without having to bug you again, but Ingrid's spending is out of control. And she still says she doesn't want to get a job.
I see neither of you have changed a bit.
Please stop talking to me like that. Please, Mom. I'm at my breaking point here. I don't know how much more I can take. Gah. I've been doing all kinds of things to save money lately, you know? You have no idea how hard I'm trying.
Lately? You had countless jobs over the years. I heard from Ingrid's parents. About the time you stole everything worth money from their house after they asked you to watch the place while they went on holiday. You used my credit card without my permission, and you stole from your in-laws. What you did is a crime.
This really is the last time, Mom, please. I'll never bug you or cause trouble again after this. And I'll even look after you when you can't take care of yourself anymore. Ingrid said she'd be more than happy to help out if you pull through for us just this one time.
It's too little, too late, Hunter. While you were getting into mountains of debt by spending like a pair of prime grade A morons with no sense of money or understanding of the concept of consequences, I was making preparations to live on my own. I knew that if I was ever in a pinch, I knew I could count on my son Steve and his wife to help me. In fact, I'm surrounded by people who are 1,000,000 times more kind, caring, and helpful than either of you two could ever dream of being. So you really don't need to worry about me at all.
God, why you gotta be so mean to me, Mom? I'm serious, this time is different. I'm really in trouble here. I'm scared of what might happen if I don't get a hold of this money and fast. There were a bunch of guys in leather jackets outside our house with crowbars yesterday. I borrowed from some very bad people. This is no laughing matter.
Who chose to do that?
You did. The mess you've gotten yourself into is way beyond my capabilities at this point. You either need to go to the police or go into hiding.
Mom, you have to help me. Please don't abandon me like this.
I loved you unconditionally because I was your mother. You're the one who abandoned my love. There's no going back now.
I'll do whatever you say, I swear. I'll never get into debt again. I'll start taking my work more seriously.
Forgive me, my dear, but I'm finding it hard to believe a word you say because you haven't told me the truth in over a decade. You've never taken work seriously in your life.
This time will be different, I swear. I can change. I'm ready. I don't have anyone else to rely on. Ingrid's mom and dad said that if either of us go anywhere near their house, they'll call the police.
You two should be grateful to me and Ingrid's parents. We would all have been well within our rights to file a police report for what you did. You should be thanking us you're not in jail. That was because of the last shred of compassion we still had for you, but believe me, there is nothing left anymore.
I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Please forgive me, Mom.
Why do you keep calling me Mom? If you recall, I resigned from my role as your mother a long time ago. I'll never tell you where I live, and I'm going to be blocking you real soon. I don't care how much trouble you're in, I'm not helping you. How could I? We'll never see each other or speak again. My desperate ex-son and his wife tried contacting me countless times after that. But I swiftly blocked them both, and with that, my peace and tranquility was restored. The only reason I didn't block them earlier was because somewhere deep inside me, I hoped that one day they'd change their ways. Part of me wished that one day my son would change and we could enjoy a healthy relationship that didn't involve being pestered for money every 5 minutes. Alas, my hope was futile, and I had no choice but to accept that Hunter was lost beyond salvation when I got the phone call from the debt collectors. There's no doubt about it, it was a heart-wrenchingly sad, but at the same time felt strangely liberating, because it meant I could finally let go and move on. There may be people who criticize me for not helping him out in his time of need because while he may be an adult, he was still my son. But family or not, there comes a time when you have to draw a line in the sand for the sake of your own well-being and sanity. And that line got crossed a long, long time ago. If my son hadn't taken advantage of my trusting nature, none of this would have ever happened. And I would have still loved and cherished him like I did when he was a little boy. I haven't heard anything from Hunter or Ingrid since I blocked them. I guess they must be just about surviving somehow. But even if they're not, I don't feel any sympathy for them. They got themselves into this mess and had ample opportunity to get themselves out of it before they passed the point of no return. I've spent these last few years of peace and quiet free from the money-crazed pestering of my son by working online translating Japanese from my new home. Eventually, I completely made up for everything they took from me, and now my money worries are a thing of the past. I don't get lonely because Steve and his wife, who I gave the house to, regularly come over to see me and make sure I have everything I need. I also made a bunch of new friends in the apartment block for the elderly I live in. This place can be such a riot sometimes. I don't know how much time I have left on this earth, but I intend to enjoy it to the fullest by focusing on my own happiness and being there for my loved ones.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
What gives, Alina? You left so soon. But even before that, you sat on the complete opposite side of the room as me. It's almost like you were avoiding me. I thought this would be a chance for us to catch up.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mom, but I had to go. I came with a friend and she had plans afterward. Also, I have a big test tomorrow that I still need to study for. So, yeah, as soon as the funeral service ended, we had to leave right away.
What a shame. It's been so long since I've seen you. I couldn't believe what a coincidence it was that I saw you there. Imagine, I haven't seen my daughter in years, and I happened to bump into you at a funeral. My goodness, it's like something right out of a movie. You've grown up into such a lovely young woman, Alina. I almost didn't recognize you at first. I was shocked when I saw that it was you.
I was pretty shocked, too, when I noticed that you were there. I mean, the funeral was for the mother of a friend of mine. Why were you even there? Did you know her?
Did I know her? Sweetheart, we were inseparable. Back when we were both in the PTA, we used to talk to each other all the time. I saw a flyer for her funeral service on Facebook. That's the only reason I knew she had passed away. I thought I would come by and pay respects to her and her family.
Okay, I didn't remember you ever talking about her, though.
And what about your father, dear? Why didn't he come?
Well, he never really had much interaction with her. He wasn't in the PTA like you were, since he was always busy with work. Why do you ask, though? Did you want to see him or something?
Who, me? Don't be ridiculous. If I never see that man again, it'll be far too soon. No, it's for the best that he didn't come, actually. Nothing good would come of us bumping into each other. Honestly, though, Alina, I know it's been a while since all of that happened, but I'm very grateful you allowed me to stay in touch with you.
You know, there's one question that I've been meaning to ask you for quite some time, Mom. Why? Why did you do it? Why did you all of a sudden disappear like that? It was a massive shock for me. And whenever I asked Dad about what happened, all he ever told me was that I should just forget about you.
Well, it's kind of a difficult thing to answer, Alina. Grown-up matters can be very complicated, you see.
Grown-up matters? Have you forgotten how old I am, Mom?
Ah, you are. Silly me. I still remember you as a little girl you were when I left. I suppose if I had to give a reason, the biggest one would be that I was sick and tired of not having any money.
It was about money?
You might not have been aware at the time, but your father was only earning around $15,000 a year. That's barely enough to live on for just one person, much less an entire family. I had to work a part-time job myself in order to make ends meet, and I wasn't going to put up with that lifestyle anymore. I deserved far better than what your father could provide me.
And what about me, Mom? Was it worth it to abandon me over money?
To tell the truth, I wanted to take you along with me when I left, but I had no means of supporting the two of us just on my income. And you were always Daddy's little girl, so I suppose I simply felt too guilty about tearing you away from him.
Uh-huh, I see. So taking me away from Dad would be too sad for you, but you had no problem with abandoning me entirely? Do I have that right?
Please, Alina, don't make me out to be some monster. Of course I felt bad about leaving you behind, but you have to understand my circumstances at the time. I had been living in poverty thanks to your father for years at that point. I was on the verge of a mental breakdown. If I didn't escape from that living hell right then and there, I know I would have snapped and ended up in an insane asylum.
All right, I get it. It's all in the past anyway. I've long since moved past that, and I'm not going to ask you about it anymore.
Asylum. Thank you for understanding, dear. You always were such a sweet, kind, gentle little girl. But then again, you're not so little anymore, are you? If I'm not mistaken, you must be in college right about now.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to college in town.
Oh. Well, congratulations on making it this far, Alina. I'm surprised you managed to be able to go to college, though. I can't imagine your father could afford it with his meager income.
He worked harder than you can imagine in order to pay for my tuition.
I would have to say so. There's no way he could afford your college tuition without putting in a massive amount of effort. I mean, 1 year of college tuition cost more than he makes in a year.
Yeah, Dad's nothing if not a hard worker. Plus, he always puts me and my needs before his own. I respect him more than anyone else in the world.
Yes, my problems with your father never had anything to do with his personality. He was a fine, upstanding man. But you know, in the real world, personality only takes you so far. I simply couldn't stay with him, no matter how good of a man he was.
I don't doubt that there were a lot of things going on between you and Dad. I mean, I was just a little kid at the time. There's no way I would be able to comprehend it all.
Oh, Lena, you have no idea how relieved I am to hear you say that. Things didn't work out between your father and I, but I would still love to see you again sometime. There are so many things I'd like to ask you. We have a lot to catch up on. I missed most of your middle school years, and all of your high school years.
I don't know, Mom. I don't think Dad would be very happy if he knew I was seeing you in secret.
Please, dear, I'm your mother. Won't you let me get to know my only daughter? That's all I want.
All right.
Don't worry, dear. I won't say a single word to your father. He'll never be the wiser. You're right. I'm certain he'd be opposed to the two of us seeing each other. And really, I have no interest in speaking to him ever again anyway.
So, when do you want to meet?
And what about this Sunday?
This Sunday? You mean the day after tomorrow? That's pretty soon.
I know, honey, but I want to talk to you as soon as possible. Alina? What's going on? You're leaving already? You just got here, though. You haven't even been in the restaurant for 5 minutes yet.
Who was that guy who came with you, Mom? And why does he think he has the right to speak to me like that? Where did you pick that guy up, Mom? The strip club or something?
Hey! He's my husband. Don't talk about him like that.
I thought you were going to come alone. Wasn't it supposed to be just you and me? I was planning on coming to see you. I was never interested in meeting your husband.
Well, I told him I was going to see my daughter, and he said he wanted to come with me to meet you. He was curious about my life. What did you expect me to do? Tell him no?
After the way he talked to me just now, yeah, I wish you would have left him at home. I have never had anyone speak to me that way before in my life.
Oh, you're just being oversensitive. That's his way of saying hello. You should hear him when he's around his friends. He talks way dirtier than that. That's just how adults behave around other adults. You'll get used to it eventually.
In case you've forgotten again, I am an adult, Mom. And no one at my college has ever behaved like that around me. Is this the kind of person you associate with, Mom? Are all your friends a bunch of low-life creepers like him?
I don't like your attitude, Alina. I had no idea you were such a stuck-up little snot.
You know what I don't like, Mom? I don't like men twice my age that meet me for the first time and immediately tell me, quote, "Wow, you've got some big-ass honkers, girlie. What the hell?" And it's not like I'm some girl he met at the bar. I am his wife's daughter. He wasn't satisfied with just sexually harassing me either. He was bad-mouthing Dad, too.
Not. Oh, that? All he did was call him broke. What's so bad about that? I mean, it's true after all.
It's not a matter of whether it's true or not. I would never, ever associate with a person who speaks that way to and about other people. I'm not sitting at any table where he's sitting. I'm leaving, Mom, and I'm not coming back, so this is goodbye.
Oh. Fine, whatever. Go ahead and have your tantrum. We're gonna stay and enjoy the dinner, however. Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I bet you can't answer the phone right now, so I'll just tell you by text. The truth is, the reason I invited you out to dinner tonight was to make a proposal that I think you're gonna like.
Oh yeah? What proposal is that?
Would you like to come and live with me? We've got a spare bedroom, and we'd be more than glad to have you.
What?
We have our own house, not an apartment, so you can feel free to come and go whenever you want, and won't have to worry about making any noise. And we'll give you 3 square meals a day. I bet it's been a while since you've had any decent food.
You have got some nerve saying that to me right now. You mean you want me to come and live under the same roof as that foul-mouthed creep?
I just got to thinking that I was able to escape poverty with your dad years ago, but you've been suffering through it this whole time. And I don't want my poor little daughter to suffer any longer. I talked with my husband about it for a bit, showed him some pictures of you, and he seemed really excited about having you live with us. You see, he's got a bit of a rough exterior, but there's a heart of gold beneath the surface.
And what about Dad, huh? What am I supposed to tell him? You think I'm going to tell him I'm going to live with you and he's going to say, "Okay, sure, sweetie, so long, have fun."
Bess. I don't get it, Alina. Why are you so concerned about what he thinks? You don't need to feel any attachment to a poor loser like your dad. You can come live with us and have a way better life. You can just give us a couple $100 a month for food and utilities. It'll be great.
Don't you dare call my dad a poor loser. He is by far a better, more hardworking, more caring person than you. You abandoned me.
I told you, I know he's a great guy and all, but being a great guy doesn't put food on the table. My husband puts plenty of food on the table. So go home, pack your bags, and come by the house later on tonight, okay?
Not in a million years. I wouldn't live with you even if Dad hadn't bought me my own house. I'd rather be homeless than live with you.
Wait, back it up. He bought you your own house. Nuh-uh, no way. There's no possible way a guy making $15,000 a year was able to buy you a house.
You're so clueless, Mom. You think he still makes the same amount as when you left us?
Oh no, don't tell me he changed careers or something. How much is he making these days?
I don't see any reason for me to tell you anything about what Dad is doing now. You don't have any part in our lives.
Sure I do. I'm your mother and his ex-wife.
You willingly cut yourself out of his life when you divorced him, Mom. And after what I just went through tonight, I don't even want to consider you my mother anymore.
Come on, Alina, don't be like that. Tell me more about your dad. You've got me curious.
Oh, now you're curious? The other night after the funeral, you told me you had no interest in speaking to him ever again. Now that you know he's got some money to his name, you're suddenly interested in him again? Just when I thought you couldn't disgust me any more than you already had.
Yes. All I want to know is how much he's making. You can tell me that.
You really want to know? Why don't you go and look it up yourself?
Holy crap! He's a CEO now? That's incredible.
Maybe you should have taken 5 seconds to search for his name before you called him a poor loser.
Yeah, well, I just did, and good grief. How in the world did he accomplish something like that? And he's not just the CEO of some minor firm that happens to hand out stocks. It's a legit company. Back when I left him, he was just some run-of-the-mill pencil pusher. What changed?
What changed is you leaving him. After you vanished, he started focusing super intently on his work. It's another one of those things that kids don't understand until they're adults. You leaving him because of money was excruciatingly painful for him. But instead of wallowing in self-pity, he decided to get the sweetest revenge on you that he possibly could, achieving major success.
Where did he get the money to start up that company anyway? He didn't have any savings.
An acquaintance of his provided the funding he needed. Dad always had a knack for making friends. That's one of the pleasant side effects of being a good person.
Okay, and then what happened? It's barely even been a decade, but he already made that company into an industrial giant?
He first started out doing some online sales and an accompanying delivery service. It's doing pretty well now, but things were pretty rough at the beginning. He decided to expand his operations to the Philippines on a whim, and it immediately took off.
Giant? You can say that again. Business is really booming for him. He has interviews in all the biggest economic journals. I never knew he had such a good business sense in him. So he's working overseas right now?
Yeah, he's based in Southeast Asia. He goes to Japan and China a lot too. Right now he's got a house of his own in every single country he does business in.
Oh, seriously? Man, if I had known he'd become this much of a success, I never would have left him. I could have had a house in the Philippines and Japan and a bunch of other countries I've never heard of.
Yeah, too bad for you.
And he bought a house for you too now, did he? And what's the deal with that?
He's been overseas on business for about 1.5 years now. He was renting a house around here until recently, and he decided to talk to the property manager about buying it outright, and they agreed. It's a beautiful house in a safe neighborhood with everything I need within walking distance.
Wait, so you're living in that house all by yourself? Don't you get lonely?
Well, whenever Dad comes back into the country, he always stays here, so I'm not by myself all the time. But eventually, he's going to transfer the title over to me and make it 100% mine. He says it'll be a good lesson in dealing with real estate.
Wait, so he's gonna give it to you?
That's right. He said once I've graduated college and I'm ready to start living on my own, he's going to hand over the house to me. I'll be free to live here, sell it, or rent it out. Seems like he really wants me to learn about real estate since it's a pretty simple side gig to bring in regular income.
He's buying you a house as a study tool? Good grief, he must be absolutely loaded.
It's less about the money and more about the experience. He's been all over the world talking to politicians, celebrities, businessmen, and experts from a wide range of fields. He learned a lot from them and wants to pass on the most important lessons to me, I guess. This is one of them.
If he's got the kind of money to buy an expensive house for his kid to play with, then he's got to have at least a 7-figure income, maybe even more. You've got to know, Alina. Tell me, how much is he making?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't know.
You mean it's more than you can even comprehend? Oh my God. How much of an allowance is he giving you? Are we talking upwards of $10,000 a month?
No, it's not that much. It's probably more than most kids get from their parents, but it's not quite that much. Remember, he's been through poverty once before in his life. His spending habits haven't changed significantly since then.
Yeah? Then he's got to have a bunch of money in savings. How about you give me a piece of that action, sweetheart?
Excuse me?
Let's see. How about $2,000 a month? That's just a drop in the bucket for you, right?
Do you actually think Dad's gonna give you money after what you did to him?
What? I'm not talking about him, silly. I'm talking about you.
Me? You want me to send $2,000 a month to the mother who abandoned me?
So I took a little break from being an active mother. I still gave birth to you. I'd say that's worth a measly $2,000 a month.
Took a break? Is that what you call it when you walk away from your husband and daughter?
Just shut up already, would you? You've got the cash, so cough it up. If you don't want to do it the easy way, fine. Maybe I'll drop by your college campus and tell your classmates what an ungrateful daughter you are. Is that what you want me to do?
You have no idea what college I'm going to, and you don't know any of my friends.
Then I'll go to every college in the city one by one until I find you. If you don't want that to happen, then you'll do as I say without putting up a fight. Don't make me warn you again.
It hasn't even been a week since we've reconnected, and you're already blackmailing me? I can't believe I share some of the same DNA with a classless, greedy lowlife like you.
You had better be more careful with what you say to me, little girl. You do not want to see what happens when I get angry. I have more ways than one to make you suffer.
Looks like I may have been too gracious in my assessment of you, Mom. If that's how you want to play, fine. 2 can play at that game, though. I just got done telling Dad that you were trying to blackmail me. You'll be hearing from his lawyers shortly.
What? Lawyers?
Your blackmail has caused me a great deal of emotional pain and suffering, so you're going to be held accountable for that. I'll also sue you to recover the costs of the classes I'm missing because I'm too afraid to go to school.
I haven't done anything worth getting sued over.
You threatened to ruin my reputation with lies if I didn't send you money. That fits the legal definition of blackmail to a T.
I didn't mean it. I was just bluffing. You know, blowing off steam, venting.
That's legally irrelevant, I'm afraid.
Ina, I would like to sincerely apologize for what I said yesterday. I let my anger get the best of me. I'll never do it again, so please, don't sue me. With the kind of lawyers your dad can afford, who knows how much I'll have to fork out for this?
I have to admit, you took me a bit off guard with that blackmail attempt. Do you really need money that badly?
Well, the thing is, my husband has a rather large amount of debt, and I happen to have a certain condition that is very expensive to treat. I know I told you it was a coincidence when I met you at the funeral, but it wasn't. I thought I would bump into you if I went, so I went.
So you're penniless, but you still tried to get me to live with you? What for?
I thought that if you moved in with us, then we could charge you enough rent to make the mortgage payments. I mean, you're young and beautiful. Young and beautiful women can make a lot of money in the right industry.
You disgust me. Are you out of your mind? You were planning on using me for money? And you were going to try to get me to do that kind of work?
I figured even doing that would be better than living with your dad. As hard up for money as we are, I thought we were still making more money than him.
It's not about money. Oh, good grief. Is that all you can think about? Even if Dad was still making $15,000 like before, I would still pick him over you. I would never choose to live with a wicked, abusive mother like you. No matter what kind of trouble Dad was in, he would never think to try to use me like you were trying.
Hey, you can't talk to me that way.
If the shoe fits. You showed your wicked nature both when you abandoned me and last night. And I saw the way your husband was looking at me at the restaurant. I know exactly what he was planning to do to me.
Please, Alina, give me a break. I'm sick and need help.
Sounds to me like karma's come to bite you in the ass, Mom. And being sick isn't an excuse for being an evil wretch.
Please, don't sue me. I'm begging you. I don't have any money to spare right now.
If you will promise to never interfere in our lives from this day forward, then I'll drop my lawsuit.
I don't suppose you could arrange a conversation between me and your father?
Dad says he doesn't want to talk with you except through a lawyer, and I'm going to block your number as soon as this conversation is finished. I never want to hear from you again.
I'm so sorry for being a terrible mother to you, Alina, but I'm only doing what I need to do to get by.
Again. Yeah, so did Dad. But the difference is that Dad worked his way from nothing to being one of the wealthiest people in the world. Meanwhile, all you've managed to accomplish is a massive black hole where your heart used to be.
Sure, you're saying that now, but I know that deep down you want to have a relationship with me. You just went out of your way to meet me, didn't you?
I just wanted to see if you were worth having a relationship with, and I got my answer. I'm through with you. After that, my dad's lawyers got a notarized agreement from my mom to never contact us again. She wasn't kidding about her disease. It's pretty bad and treatment is very expensive. But that's not my problem. Dad told me to forget her, and I plan to do just that. It'll be easy considering how busy I am with college stuff. I've been doing a lot of thinking on what sort of work I want to do in the future, and I've made my decision. I want to help my dad with his business. So starting now, I plan on studying harder than ever to be able to help him out as much as I can. Wish me luck.